Anti-Slut-Shaming Podcast.
Yo, you having sex?
I'm Krystyna Hutchinson.
I'm Corinne Fisher.
And I'm gonna fuck your boyfriend. Bring us your slutty, your horny.
Hey, you a slut?
Yes. Okay.
Let's talk about fucking.
Greetings, fuckers. How you doing? Keep dry. Bring an umbrella. Welcome to another episode of Guys We Fucked.
It's the Anti-Slut-Shaming Podcast. I'm Corinne Fisher.
I'm Krystyna Hutchinson.
Welcome to the show. Los Angeles.
LA, baby.
If you are in Los Angeles or if you'll be visiting Los Angeles on May 11th.
May 11th. It's a Saturday.
Krystyna Hutchinson.
And Corinne Fisher.
We are part of the Netflix Is a Joke Festival, and we will be doing Guys We Fucked podcast style live interview
we will.
on Saturday, May 11th at 9:45 p.m. at the Regent Theater. This is a big deal. This is a big show. This is a big festival.
Yes.
We need you to buy a ticket.
We need you to buy a ticket now.
Now.
Can you
This
can
last
you
minute
pause
ticking,
it?
this last minute ticking buying, guys.
Stressful.
Of course, we appreciate when you buy a ticket anytime, but I don't think you understand the personal pressure that these venues put us under.
I don't want
Sometimes-
Netflix mad at us.
Yeah, like if you don't, sometimes like if it's like so many tickets sell like day of, and that's lovely. But you know how close you get to canceling shows
And giving me diarrhea.
and just a nonstop lack of sleep.
Yeah.
Okay. We're too old for that.
Yeah,
we can't do
we
that
can't do
anymore.
that. We're in our
we
30s.
we cannot do that anymore. So Regent Theater, May 11th, Los Angeles. Netflix Is a Joke Festival. You can go to the Netflix Is a Joke website. You can go to the ticket links in our bios. The information is there. It's going to be spectacular.
It's going to be way different than the LA show because this is going to be a formal podcast interview.
It's going to be the podcast.
There'll be some interaction, but it's going to mostly be us talking and then a very famous surprise guest.
Yeah, because it's a fancy big theater that we're in. That's
Yeah.
why. And we even got a musical guest to open the show, so it feels like an actual cohesive episode of the podcast. We will be joined by Joel Ronson. I mean, he's his own person, but it is John Ronson's son.
That's pretty cool.
That's pretty fucking cool.
Yeah.
All
When
right.
your dad's that cool.
Yeah.
You got to say something.
Come on.
Yeah, you can't. He wrote so many books.
Yeah, and if you can believe it, Joel, even more British than John.
It's
I don't know how that happened.
crazy.
I don't know how that
And
happened.
you talk to him, you're like, damn, dude, you're British as hell.
It's
And
like
then
talking to a scone. It's delightful.
Yeah.
It's
and
delightful.
high tea.
Yeah, I love it. Okay, so you're gonna get those tickets, and we'll actually give you a moment right now to do so. Write yourself a note.
Yeah.
Stop the car. Pull over.
Yeah. Just wrote a note to do it right after. The link's in our bios, all of our bios.
Ask it for a gift. Do you have a birthday coming up?
Yeah.
That's a perfect gift. Just say it in front of your husband or your partner, or
Are you dating somebody super hot and you want to make sure you're still dating them on May 11th?
There
Get
you
them
go.
tickets and let them know. Put it in
There
their calendar and then
you
they
go.
have to come.
Go with your sister.
Go with your mother.
Go with your dad. Go with your pet, but it has
Go
to.
with your
It has
unborn
to
child in
be
your stomach.
a service dog.
Yes. And we will want to pet it after. So
pet it after.
make sure you make that happen. Okay.
Okay.
If you want to email us, it's sorryaboutlastnightshow@gmail.com. Today's subject line: do I have to get married before my dad gets dementia? Hi, Corinne and Krystyna. I'm a longtime listener and fan. Love getting your perspective on something I have been going through. My boyfriend and I have been together for 9 years. We are constantly nagged with the question of, so when are you going to get married? Or, so why aren't you married yet? Why does nobody care? You know what I mean? It's your life. They're not in a relationship. I often get these questions, more so than my boyfriend does. We have compared. I don't really care about a wedding or the idea of marriage. It sounds like the biggest burden in the world to plan and spend $30K for a wedding. I'm cheap and do not enjoy being the center of attention. Okay, so weddings are just not for you, dude.
Yeah.
I find the questions to be annoying, and I brush them off for the most part. My partner feels similarly, and we both had an open conversation that we don't feel the need to really have a wedding, nonetheless even get married. Good thing, boo. I'm absolutely not knocking anyone else getting married or having a wedding. I love me a good time and a fun wedding. Girl, me too. But it just has never really been a priority for us. Recently, my dad has been dealing with some health issues. I'm 30, my dad is 70. He has what is called mild cognitive impairment. He takes a test every year called the MOCA assessment. That essentially tests his memory, attention, concentration, cognition, and a few other parameters. We trend his score each year, which has been relatively stable for the past 3 years. As the test score declines, it is considered that cognitive impairment is worsening on a 30-point scale. This test does not tell us if this cognitive impairment will ultimately turn into something like dementia or Alzheimer's. Anyway, I can certainly see a change in my dad for the worse. It's very difficult for me to see his memory declining. Yeah, that must be hard. And not remember a conversation I had with him just the day before, or start to forget family members' names. He recently came to visit me in California, and all I could think of was, is he even going to remember the best parts of our time together on this trip? Tough questions to face. To put the two together, I am now, for the first time in this relationship, feeling the pressure of time. I feel as though I have to get married before my dad forgets a special day, such as being at his daughter's wedding. I can't imagine these life events without my dad being present, or worse, present but not mentally present. I ask you two for perspective, given both of your experiences. Corinne, I know your father passed away. I'm so sorry for your loss. Did you have similar thoughts when your dad was sick? Not necessarily regarding marriage or wedding, but any anxiety surrounding not having such an important person in your life present for life's milestones. How did you deal with these thoughts? Krystyna, I asked the same for you, as I recall you saying a long time ago, sorry if I'm shabby on the details, that your mom had been diagnosed with a type of memory disorder.
She forgot she was being a bitch.
I'll get to that in a moment. So fucked up. And it was causing you to spiral into thoughts about Could you imagine? At the time, because you could not imagine your mom not meeting your kids. Oh, God. Sorry. I'll tell you why that's funny in a second.
Oh, man.
Hoping to hear your perspective and curious what your experience is with this, or honestly, any listener who has a similar experience.
Nancy, all-time prankster.
Get it from my mama. What their experience has been like. Thanks so much for taking the time to read it. Sorry it's so long, girl. It ain't long. It's okay. The reason I laughed is because I forgot that I said that, first of all. My mom probably didn't, because her memory's fine. I don't know what to say, but she's fine.
A lot of false alarms.
She told me. My whole fucking life is just false alarms. Could you imagine if I took her word for it? What did I say? I feel like I said.
I mean, there was one. Okay,
so
so
we
we
were
were
a couple years to live.
There was a city that we were in.
Miami. It was Florida.
Okay, so I was right. I was
remember.
thinking Florida, but I was like, we weren't in Florida that many times together, and you were like
I remember
beside
vividly.
yourself in the hotel room about this.
Yes, I remember we were eating at the downstairs.
Yeah.
And I was just like, well, I guess my mom's gonna die in a couple of years. I was so heartbroken.
Yeah.
Like, really heartbroken.
And then my dad died first.
Yep.
No contest. Not even close. She's doing great,
she's
I think.
fine. She's fine.
She's jogging on the beach.
Yeah. So, did she exaggerate her diagnosis for sympathy? One will never know.
Yeah.
If I had to bet my money on it, that is currently not mine in my bank account, and it's all in my parents' house in Jersey.
Yeah.
I would say she did.
Yeah.
Thank God I did not have children with Steven, because I wanted her to be my grand. Oh my God, what a death sentence that would have been.
So rule of thumb before we get into the nitty gritty is, if you're doing something in your life that is huge, so that someone else can enjoy it, you're living your life incorrectly.
Yeah. I mean, it just as much as the reason you're being asked all these questions of when you're getting married, when you're getting married, is the same. Like, that factor at play is the same factor at play for you feeling like you need to rush a moment that you don't even know if you want.
Yeah.
And I would say, I think the solution here is to spend more time with your father on FaceTime, over the phone, and in person as much as you can. Obviously, I don't want to keep this far away for this to fly to you.
Yeah, you don't need to create these. He's not a little baby. You're not their parent. You don't need to create memories. You don't need to create your daddy's first birthday. I think it's like your parents, if they have the relationship that they should with you, they just want what's best for you.
Yes.
So like anytime we get into this territory of like my mom wants me to have this kind of a wedding, my mom or dad wants me to meet this person, like your parents unfortunately then don't have your best interest at heart, right? Like my parents, like they, it's not like they were like faultless or something. No one is, but they never pushed me to do anything that I didn't want to do, unless it was something that would truly like be of service to me. Like I live my life the way I want to. And I mean, sure, things have come up over the years, like, Corinne, do you have any money? Why do you not have any money? And I go, I'll handle that. Just wait, like that kind of a thing. But that was because they were worried about my welfare, and I just have a little bit of a loosey-gooseier approach to things, a little bit more into like taking a big risk, because for me, big risk, big reward, and obviously it paid off. It's not gonna pay off for anyone, but like, so like, do these questions come up? I mean, I remember having like a thought when my dad first died, and I think I talked about it on this show, like, oh, now I don't have to get married because my dad's dead. I don't really feel that way anymore. That was just like a passing feeling. Lots of feelings will pass during that time. But yeah, I mean, basically, like, once your parents certainly turn 70, like, I think it's time 96, but that's because she didn't get married or have kids. And that woman chain smoked, so she really was trying. Yeah, I mean, I just think like, yeah, spend time with your dad, and also like this preoccupation that you have with worrying about him forgetting things. Like, yeah, him in this realm might forget it, but I really do feel like these things like kind of just download into your soul. And so even when my dad had severe brain damage and I was talking to him, and it's, you know, and he's eating pudding and getting it all over himself, and, you know, just like in this world seemed like just absolutely gone. Like, I knew he really was taking things in. And so you just have to kind of have faith about that. And I don't mean like Christian faith, I just mean faith in whatever, even if it's just like mortal faith. But yeah, if it feels to me like you're going into panic mode and it's anxiety that makes you want to get married, it doesn't seem to me like you actually want to get married. Listen, you've been with this guy for 9 years. I think if you get married or if you don't get married, it doesn't matter, because it seems like this is your person. But also, like, you're only 30, so a lot of times there is this like first long relationship that we get into that's like a decade, and a lot of people actually leave that relationship. I know many people who in their youth were in a 10 or similar length relationship, and that is not the person that they end up spending the biggest chunk of their life with.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm always so happy I didn't marry Steven. Oh, God, I'm so happy for that all the time, because boy, he would have taken all my money when we got divorced.
Yeah,
because he already tried to when we weren't divorced.
You wouldn't have got to sign a prenup?
Yeah, I would have. I would have, I guess. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I would have saved the number. But
right.
Also, so I have two more things. So, as somebody who lives a life that it kind of bucks the tradition of talking to your parents, so I'm kind of, I'm going against the grain, for lack of a better term, against society's grain of like, they're your parents, you should talk to them. You can say that to me all day, that's fine, but like my inner peace is so priceless. So I will say, living your life on your own terms is a gift that will never stop giving. If the idea of a wedding does not appeal to you, and you're right, $30K for a party, like, ugh, that's awful.
Spend that flying to visit your dad instead.
Yeah, over a course of several years.
I just was actually talking to another friend of ours whose father passed away this morning, and I told her how much I spent visiting my dad while he was in hospice, and she was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Don't regret it at all.
Yeah.
Never lost a wink of sleep over it.
Yeah, and then how would you like think of like spending that much of your money on a wedding that you don't want to have versus spending a significantly lower portion of that amount of money to have more quality time with your dad? I think that's way worth it. And then the other thing I wanted to say, my boyfriend's mother has dementia, and it's really tough. She just forgets stuff. She's a lovely woman. But yeah, I know how tough that is, and this is just a woo-woo thing that I'll never know if it's true, so take it with a grain of salt. But Laura Lynn Jackson has two stories in her books about, she's like, sometimes when a patient has dementia or Alzheimer's, her client, I'm reading a client, and their mother has dementia or Alzheimer's. The mother will actually come through in the reading because she's half in and half out of her body, so I can actually communicate with her. I thought that was really interesting. And then she just made a note to say that, you know, if a loved one is dying and they can't speak, they can't open their eyes, or if they have dementia that's so severe that they don't know who they are, but you do talk to them and you do spend time with them, that does register with them ultimately. So
yeah, there's no question.
Throw that out there.
There's no question that spending time with someone registers. You know, that's just 100%. They can totally tell. So yeah, I mean, I think doing things like that and like incorporate like things that are meaningful. Like, yeah, I mean, like you're again, like your dad being at your wedding. If he's already forgetting things, like is he gonna even remember that? Like your dad just wants you to be happy. I mean, I think is the bottom line. And things like if you want things that are register, what I found is comedy and music were the two things that, no matter how far gone my dad's brain was, those are the two things that up until the end would register. His sense of humor was always the same, even if he couldn't remember anything. And he definitely remembered like lyrics to songs, especially songs from like his, you know, his childhood. Like, so whatever, like, you know, for a guy that age, a lot of times it's the Beatles. But whatever that is to you, go into that and like kind of spend time like that. I think you're just like kind of worried about things that it seems like he probably already has like lifted past this realm. You know, like he's already like in the next stage, and you're worried about like these like mortal issues. Not worried about these things. Do whatever you want to do, but certainly don't have wedding just because your dad's dying. To me, that's panic mode behavior.
Yeah.
And as people start to die in your life, everyone will, everyone will go into panic mode behavior. It's just what it is, and you'll see how unprepared people are to face death. It's actually kind of embarrassing.
Yeah.
I'm embarrassed by
How
some
do you mean
people.
they're unprepared to face death?
It's like it's not a
they just
this is
fall
not a
apart.
fucking surprise.
Right.
Death is coming for us all.
All of us.
I wasn't prepared for my dad to die in his 60s, but
Yes. Right.
but also I know so many people whose dads, died in their 20s or 30s, like when the dad was that age, not when they were that age. Death kills little children. I don't know, just be ready for it. You never know when it's coming. Don't put things off. But but also if you never wanted a wedding before, if you have this sudden urge to have a wedding, I don't think that's real. I think that's anxiety.
Thanks for reminding me that I'm not lying about to be dead.
That's really funny. Yes, Eric. Death is coming for you too.
Yeah, we're all gonna die. You youngster.
Oh, it's coming for Eric at a rapid pace because of the way he treats his body.
Okay, I gotta get into that vitamin D, dog.
Yeah.
What do you want to say?
I was just gonna say, if it is such a big deal for him to see you get married, and he is like going mentally, just
Do a backyard?
Get some rings, get a guy who's good at Photoshop, a couple frames.
Yeah, literally fake it.
Yeah,
Wow,
just
Eric wants your
That's a
last
great
memory with your father to be a lie.
It's an absolute, like the moon landing. Just kidding. Just kidding.
Just an absolute lie.
Do you want to get married, Eric? What does marriage mean to you? The idea.
I feel like Eric is dying inside to get married. He's a little sweetie pie.
I don't know. I've only seen divorce happen.
Are you Eric's divorced?
Trauma.
Is that your trauma?
I don't know if it's trauma.
You tell me. Good. That's great.
Yeah, no, we're not trying to create trauma.
No, yeah,
It's not.
exactly. And
we're
sometimes
we're not a therapist.
Yeah, and a lot of times divorce is way better than staying together because then you're just gonna fight and then that's fine. Well, that's a good suggestion. If you are in Springfield, Missouri, I'm going to be headlining the Blue Room March 22nd and 23rd. I'm super pumped for that. And as always, I have a Patreon where once a week I do group Zoom therapy. It's not technically therapy because I'm not a licensed therapist, but we just go around and share whatever we want. And there's a $5 level where you can sign up and just listen to the audio from all those Zooms. And I'm also going to be doing bonus readings of this book, Supercharged Self-Healing by R.J. Spina, on that level. So I'm very excited about that. And check out Voices in Our Heads. It comes out every Monday, where I talk about things that go on in my life, but also at the end I'll read a self-help book. And guys, I'm getting so good at reading out loud. It's not even fucking funny. Okay? Once you have cringed for years over how bad you are reading out loud, eventually you fix it. And I fixed it. Woo! But I still make mistakes. But anyway, it's a great book. And you don't have to be in dire physical condition to get something out of it. It's basically how we are all much more powerful than we can ever realize, and that your body is actually this magical, beautiful thing that's capable of healing beyond what the medical industry has told us. And I'm very excited to share all that with you, so check it out.
And this tour that I've been teasing for a while, the dates are finally locked in. Corinne Fisher's Eye of the Tiger Tour 2024. It's a 14-city tour. Chloe LeBranch will be featuring me for all of these shows. It's great. You can get tickets at CorinneFisher.com. And here is the list of cities. Tampa, April 17th. Miami, April 18th. Atlanta, April 19th and 20th. Columbus, Ohio, April 25th. Raleigh, North Carolina, April 30th. Philadelphia, May 1st. Boston, May 2nd. Portland, Oregon, May 14th. San Francisco, May 15th. Sacramento, May 16th. Seattle, May 17th. Houston, June 27th. Austin, June 28th and 29th. And Salt Lake City, Utah, September 26th. Again, a lot of these are kind of like big one-offs. Some of them are a couple of shows, a couple days. But please, if you're going to come, again, buy the tickets now, because it does, if these things don't sell properly, it does put them in jeopardy of being canceled. Like buying same day, so many. The shows in Washington D.C. were incredible, but like literally hundreds of tickets selling day of.
Are you serious?
You can't do that to
guys,
me.
don't do that to her.
Please, you can't do that.
Don't do that to
me.
anyone you love.
It was great, but like you don't understand how you can't do that.
I got excited for you. That's terrible.
You cannot do that. The amount of tickets that we're selling day of.
Oh,
okay.
God. Yeah, you gotta get them now.
I just don't think I just don't think you realize the personal stress we are put under. All right, so again, CorinneFisher.com for all those dates. Eye of the Tiger tour, amazing. And then of course, if you want to listen to me get political going into this, what looks like to be Trump versus Biden 2024 presidential election, things are heating the fuck up. Make sure to listen to Without a Country podcast. Comes out every Wednesday night on YouTube and then full audio wherever you listen to your podcasts. Shit's getting up, guys. You know, C-SPAN knows about me, guys. Shit's heating up. I'm an older AOC. Yes.
Can I get your political opinion on something?
Sure.
It's been brought to my attention over the years that, and throughout the history, like the government, it seems like the government, a government of any kind, but
sure.
like, let's take the United States government, for example. They really kind of rely on just so much fucking corruption to the point where it's like a government is synonymous with corruption. I mean, it's just, it's nauseating. But
although not as much. Okay, so I will say, but although not, I agree, but not as much as I initially thought, because then Hillary would have won the election. Like if America was truly as corrupt as some people had suspected, Hillary would have won that election.
Okay.
That was actually to me revealing that we do our democracy is, I think, more intact than a lot of people would
that's
think.
good.
Yes.
Because I watched this docuseries called The Octopus Murders.
Okay.
Jesus Christ.
I'm not. Is that Netflix?
It's on Netflix. I believe it's on Netflix. Netflix Rule. I think it's Netflix. But it's this investigative journalist who, oh my God, it's basically this journalist was murdered by the government. It was so clear as day.
Yeah.
Because they stole some software code, and then they started. The U.S. government, there's proof of this, started selling that exact software, security software, to other countries. But they had a guy put a back door in the software code so they could spy on other countries.
Interesting. Yeah.
And they had the government had all these people killed, and then throughout time, like they've had leaders killed.
Yeah.
It's like, God damn. And so, but this kind of idea that the government wants the people of its citizens to be at odds with each other, to be fighting all the time, to have, because when you don't, when you can't agree with other citizens and you're just so caught up in the, I don't know, ego fucking hit of like you're a Trump guy and you're talking to a Hillary gal and you just want to fucking punch each other's heads until one of y'all bleeds out. The government loves that because then you can't rise up. People can't bond together.
For sure, you can't have a whole coup. They especially do that amongst low-income people.
So fucked.
Like, you know, the
citizens out.
The number one group that I think is pitted against each other is poor white people and poor black people. Because it's such a large piece of the demographic, and if those people realized their similarities and joined together, it would be unstoppable, and that would be a problem.
Yeah. So that I'm glad because it makes me rethink how I comment or talk to anybody who has opposite political beliefs. Like, I know we disagree. It's okay though, because we gotta band together. You know what I mean?
Well, that's kind of the joke. Like, you know, when we are fighting, you know, we are unknowingly becoming, you know, kind of America's little soldiers. Yeah. When we are fighting it the way we are, and which is so interesting because a lot of the talk, especially on the conservative right, is that, you know, you want the ability to defend yourself, to own guns and stuff, and that's, you know, they will tell you when you ask, like, that's because we always want the ability to fight the government.
Right.
But it's like as long as you're fighting liberals against conservatives, you are fighting with the government, and you have no idea. Yeah.
Like
that's of course it's on purpose.
Right, and it's like the people that stormed the Capitol on January 6th. It's like, okay, the government is corrupt, but you're thinking about it for the wrong reasons, really. Like,
yeah, I think it's corrupt. But I actually don't think it's as corrupt. I don't think it's as excessively corrupt in this country as some, you know, Pizzagate folks would agree. And I'm not even saying that, like, it's just like there's just some levels of conspiracy theory that's just going too deep. Like it's almost like in a relationship when you create an issue where there is none because you're bored. You know, that's Pizzagate.
I was so impressed when France, they tried to raise the retirement age by like 2 or 3 years. Mm-hmm. They were out in those streets immediately, like absolutely the fuck not. I was like, look at that unity. I know it's a much smaller country, but my God, isn't that nice to see everybody being together?
Yeah, well, I mean, that's, you know, also a lot of times when you see comments from other countries, one of the main comments will be like, why is racism so severe in this country? And I mean, part of the reason I think we're not trying to correct it more is because, it works in everybody in the government's favor. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And we're so trained as Americans, like, you know, I think like issue in that country that like when you're talking to someone, like I don't understand, like you can't get it out of your head. Like I'm talking
Right.
to a black person, I'm talking to an Asian person, I'm talking to a Latino person. Like it's like you are thinking, even like with a woman or man, I'm talking to a woman, I'm talking to a man, I'm talking to a queer person. Like there's so much identity to discussion in America. Like like we're just trained, and we're trained like this person is different. Even right now, it's weird. Like I feel like it would be hard at this time to even like date someone of a different like religion. I mean, not even of religion. Like I mean, like it's just I don't know. It's crazy. It's we are being pitted against each other.
Yeah, it does feel. It really does feel.
I'm good. Oh, you know what? I was so excited because this was all over Instagram yesterday. It was the 25th anniversary of the movie Cruel Intentions. Okay? Crazy to even believe that.
Ryan. Oh my God.
I believe I was like 12 because I think I was still in middle school when that came out. I remember vividly going to see it with Paula.
In the theater?
And yes.
Nice.
And I just wanted to give a shout out to this movie because, a lot of people wonder where a personality like this comes from. Some people with a rude tone and some people with a positive tone. And I will tell you, if you want to know what makes Corinne Fisher, I'm going to give 33.3% of the credit to the movie Cruel Intentions. This movie shaped who I am. It awakened my sexuality.
More than the craft.
The craft didn't awaken my sexuality. The craft was just like spoke to me in a language that I had been speaking to myself in.
Cruel Intentions.
But Cruel Intentions, I mean, that was the first movie that showed me the power of a woman's sexuality in a way that was not demeaning to women. Sarah Michelle Gellar, my celebrity look-alike, this woman just spoke to my fucking soul. The power she exudes in the way she uses her sexuality to control her stepbrother. Ryan Phillippe. This movie changed who I am as a person, and I just wanted to take a moment to salute it. If you have not seen Cruel Intentions, it is based off the film Dangerous Liaisons. Not as good because John Malkovich is just not hot. I'm gonna be honest. It's just not hot.
Ryan Phillippe.
Yeah, I watch it. It's a great movie. But the Cruel Intentions, there's just something about it that will speak, and I think it really works. And someone that I follow on Instagram was reviewing Saltburn, and she said, "Oh, it has Cruel Intentions vibes," and that's why I ran to watch the film.
Yeah.
And she's right. Obviously, there's a lot more like stylistic choices in Saltburn, and it gets weirder than Cruel Intentions ever does. But you can see the remnants, like the seeds of Cruel Intention in Saltburn, and it's incredible. So thank you, Cruel Intentions. I had 2 huge posters, and I think they're still hanging in my childhood bedroom actually. One huge poster of Ryan Phillippe's face, one huge poster of Sarah Michelle Gellar's face, and man, did that amp me up. Paul and I saw that movie, and then we went back and we started a club called the Cruel Whores, and it was just a hilarious club to start when you're 12 years old. I don't know who we thought we were being cruel
Dude,
or a whore
The
towards.
sexuality of a 12-year-old girl is pretty intense.
It was, we thought we were going to run that town. And by that town, I do mean Union, New Jersey. I don't even think there's cruel people there. Oh, I guess there's whores there. I don't think there's any cruel whores, though. I don't think there's anyone that has really learned to manipulate their sexuality in such a powerful way. But Cruel Intentions, thank you so much for just giving me the gift of really owning that 12-year-old sexuality.
Dude.
Beautiful. It was a beautiful thing.
I kind of miss my 12-year-old sexuality.
Oh, gorgeous.
It's just really like, you had this like, you're never gonna die, you're gonna own everything. You're just like,
Yeah.
It felt very powerful.
Oh, so powerful.
Really powerful.
Oh, beautiful.
That's when I started getting titties when I was 12. It really came out at 15. And I was like, yeah. There's an interesting, there's this graphic, there's a carousel floating around Instagram. In multiple accounts that I follow, a lot of Beyonce accounts. Somebody must have paid to get this post everywhere. But I thought it was interesting. By the age of 32, you should be smart enough to realize this. And I'll read the first. Okay, so 1, your 9 to 5 is someone's passive income. Find new ways to make money, create your income stream. No one is coming to save you. Agree with that. You shouldn't take advice from people who are not where you want to be in life. If you find someone smarter than you, work with them, don't compete. Like, all of this stuff I agree with. But one of the one part that they put it on the first slide, which I'm like, are you just doing this to well, the second slide technically, to start an argument in the comments and get engagement. But number 2 was porn and masturbation are the greatest killers of success. It will stunt and destroy your brain. I was like, yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I want to throw to Eric. What say you, Eric? I mean, as somebody who is I'm an avid masturbator.
I think when they say masturbate, they're probably talking about male masturbation.
How's it different from women? Like,
women can just masturbate and get back to life, I think.
oh, men can't do that.
Well, women's brains are, I mean, this is like scientifically proven that women's brains are set up to multitask in a way that men's aren't. Men compartmentalize, which I actually, that makes sense to me. I can multitask. Obviously, I've spent years being an assistant to people, but when I want to really get work done, I definitely compartmentalize. Even like with my like grief, I literally sectioned off grief because like I needed to mourn my dad's death, but then so I compartmentalized it, did that, and then I had to handle my childhood best friend's death and then my breakup with Dylan. Like those are all things I needed to grieve at the same time, but I literally chunked them off so that I could do one at a time. I don't know how I did that, but I did.
That's
it,
amazing.
and it worked great.
Eric?
What do I think about masturbation?
How often do you watch porn?
Like you achieve a lot. Do you feel like you have sacrificed some masturbation to achieve more, or have you worked in the masturbation? Again, there's no HR here, so don't even think about it.
Sorry.
No, I feel like masturbation comes with a lot of, if you have like a high
Load.
You need
Woo, where's my symbol?
Worked well.
I know.
I feel like you gotta,
Fucking wish I was 12 again.
if I have a day of 14 hours of anime,
Yeah.
I jerk off probably 2-3 times.
Whoa.
Really?
Yeah.
So wait, so you can bounce back after? So because after I jerk off,
Yeah.
I there's like a minute where I'm like, because I like to let those chemicals just wash over me like a nice shower of light, and then I just get back into it. So you guys can do that too.
Yeah, I mean, it's,
He's young too, so what's the refractory period is shorter when you're young.
yeah, definitely shorter. But I mean, it's like, I feel like it's got to be very different as far as men and women. Like, because I'm just trying to get the evil out. You get, it's like this tension that builds up over time, and then it's just like, oh, I can go back to being a person again.
Eric's performing an exorcism in the middle of editing our show.
I have had a lot of men describe masturbation as getting the evil out, and I was always like, all right. But then when multiple men do it, there's something to it.
So like for you will be more productive because you are getting the distraction out of your body, correct?
That's me.
Clear headed,
Yeah. It does clear your head. It's relaxing.
I basically only masturbate right before I'm gonna go to bed because like just in the middle, that's the only
It's the
time.
ideal time.
Because it's just too much.
But I don't know if you get like this, Eric, because I'm more horny like a guy, I think. If I get the idea during my day to masturbate, I gotta go do it, or else I'm just gonna think about it. Is that?
I don't know if it's the idea. It's just like, I get this thing, and I get this thing, and I'll do this later. It's like that.
No way.
You just go jerk off.
Bap.
And then you're like, okay, now I can calm down. This a more.
When you jerk off, do you watch porn?
Sometimes.
And sometimes
I don't use
no.
it frequently.
Wow, that's powerful.
That is powerful.
No, when you said you get the idea to masturbate in your head, so you're literally just getting the idea to masturbate. You're not getting a sexual idea that inspires you to masturbate. Because I never really just like, unless I have really, really high anxiety and I know that's the only way I can get to sleep.
Yeah.
That's the only reason when I'll get just the idea to masturbate. Usually it's something that sets me off that I'm like, oh no, I had this conversation or I had this interaction with a person and now I need to masturbate.
It's not a sexual thought that arises. It's a stress level. If my stress level gets to a certain point, which it does apparently every day, I just go, time to get that vibrator out.
Well, so that what you just described, it seems like maybe you're not like as hypersexual as much as you are hyper stressed out.
What? Yeah, I'm just kind of always horny, and then when the idea pops into my brain, like sometimes
Ooh, a treat.
like during the day, the idea won't pop into my brain because I'm just like on a roll or in the flow state or whatever the fuck, and then other times it just will, and it's and I do watch porn, but that porn shapes how you view women?
I'm sure it's doing some damage below the surface, but I try not to let it impact my
That's the
real
spirit.
life decisions.
That's sweet.
That's good. What kind of porn do you like?
What kind of porn do I like?
Like, you got go-to kind?
Not necessarily. I mean, there are like certain. Is this shit?
You nervous?
Now a little bit, yeah.
Wanna stop talking about it?
This is a quiz now.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, no, it's fine. We can talk about it. I'm not afraid. I mean, what's the worst that's gonna happen?
I feel like I don't want to look at you either.
Sorry, we're making I feel like this is like I'm having a conversation with my nephew. I never reported. Go ahead, Ara. If you want to share, you can.
I don't know. Squirt is one.
Squirt? Oh,
Yeah.
that's interesting.
That's a good one.
Okay.
That's a great one.
Threesome or just is interesting.
Classic.
A lot of people all having fun in the same room.
I feel like that's enough.
Okay. Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
later.
Oh,
Yeah.
The third one gets real fucking weird.
Yeah.
That's what
That's
you just
fine.
revealed.
Yeah, the third one is just piss and shit. There's no sex.
Hey,
I
there's
don't
something for
mind
everyone.
piss. Shit's not really for me.
Yeah, because you're making me cry.
Yeah, that's not good.
My neighbor, I was talking to my neighbor today about the elevators in my building. He just had like this sty on his neighborhood. Oh, sexy stuff. Please don't come with me. Go away. I'm sorry your wife's shitting in your eye, but I don't want that on me, okay? But you know who I do want on
Tell
me?
him to use Johnson & Johnson. Maybe she it's a stain.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Good to know. I do want him in a conversation. Anyway, our guest. Boy, these segments are smooth as butter. She is a stand-up comedian. She's the co-host of Me and Ian with Jordan, and she has a stand-up special that you can watch for free on YouTube called 30 Minutes with Jordan Jensen. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome
Jordan Jensen.
So happy to have you.
I always forget to wear makeup or nice things.
No, I actually love that you walked in wearing camo for hunting.
Yes, you. Well, podcasting should only be audio, but
Right.
This
I
is the
just
times we live
forget,
in.
and like I go to LA, like I just did Amy Wineshake's podcast, and she just, she had beautiful, and I
Sarah Wineshank?
yeah, and we were next to me. What did I say?
Amy. I said I'm not
I don't
familiar with
always say
Amy
that.
Wineshake's
Yeah, like,
work.
I
Amy
always
It's like
say
Amy Winehouse.
Winehouse.
Yeah.
Amy Winehouse, same thing. Every time I'm next to her, I'm
That would
like,
be
shit.
sick
Cat
if
Eye
you
looks
did
great.
Amy Winehouse's podcast.
R.I.P. That was a bad.
Yes,
It was.
She's a bad bitch.
Yeah. But yeah, I always forget, and I just was at the park in one with my.
That's why I think that's your appeal though. Like
Yeah.
part of it is like if you tried hard in the same way that other female comedians are like and I mean this as a compliment.
No.
It feels like not a compliment, but like it wouldn't work. Just show up as who you are and who you authentically are. It's so much better. People recognize it.
Yeah, I can't. One time I wore lipstick and
Ooh,
I
gross.
went into a potluck where all my friends were having, and a kid that I know was just like across the room was like, "Are you wearing lipstick?" And I just started punching the shit. I just was so embarrassed. I was like, "Shut the fuck up!" So I don't wear it.
So like if you show up to like a date and you're trying, you've never been on a date ever.
I showed up. I went on a date the other day because my therapist forced me by hand, and it was
Nice.
It was I wore a turtleneck,
Okay.
which was the most feminine thing I owned.
A turtleneck.
A black turtleneck. That's the most. I don't have dresses. And then
That's fine.
but I had a Carhartt only.
A Carhartt turtleneck?
No, a Carhartt jacket.
Oh.
So that's my winter coat. So I have, I'm sorry, I have 12 of them, but they're all Carhartt.
Right.
And so I just looked like I was like a real estate agent for like cabins. For
That,
like,
you know, real estate
river.
porn is really hot, so that could have been very attractive to your
Oh, I
date.
need to get into
Real estate porn or
Yeah.
real estate? Or
that. Oh no,
porn?
I'm not watching porn.
Oh.
I'm against porn. I've decided I'm against porn.
What made you arrive at that decision?
I think it's really bad for dating. I think it's bad for relationships. It's bad for it. When I watch it, I like compare myself, and sometimes it's helpful. Like sometimes I'm like, oh, my tits are better than that, you know. But other times it's just like you know what it is? I really hate the role the feminine in it. I really don't like it.
That's why I was really into porn for a while, and I just couldn't get past the use of women as an object.
The gagging is like
The gagging's
that's not
yeah.
even just a category. It's like if it's coming down. I'm like, can
Yeah.
we let's mellow out.
It just dawned on me that that's why gagging is hot, because your throat constricts, not because the guy's like, my dick's so big, she's gonna barf on me.
I think it's both.
both,
yeah.
But I think the noise probably, like, you know, when you're blowing a dude, if you make
Yeah.
any noise of struggle, they're like, yes, because
That's
it's struggle.
true. I was
Yes.
blowing a guy this morning and that happened. And yeah, I almost got PTSD because I've thrown up. The last time I did it, I threw up. When we were in the shower.
Wait, when you
It just punched in the back of my throat and it couldn't take any more punches. And it just came out like a frozen entree. Just like fucking, but we were in the shower, so,
That's
you know,
good.
killed the mood, which is fine.
wait, you threw up today or one time?
A couple months ago.
It's awful. It's
Yeah.
the worst feeling in the entire world.
You're only good as your last blowjob, so this last one I didn't throw up, so that's fine.
Nice, good
Yeah.
job.
Wait, you've thrown up during a blowjob?
Yeah.
Really?
The acid reflux thing? I
It's
threw
not
up if I
trying
roll
hard
over on
enough.
my stomach after eating too much. Like,
Yeah, right.
I threw up a little last night in my mouth because I was so hungry that I binged. I like ate like Power Bar to go to sleep, and I rolled over on my stomach. I was like, whoa.
Wow.
Yeah.
The only time I mean, one of the most recent times I threw up, it was because I ate too much, and then I went to the bathroom, threw up at a restaurant, and then came back and ordered dessert.
Nice.
It was sick.
Accidental bulimia. Let's
That's
go.
like, that's Gilda Radner and Jay Curtin's vibe.
Yeah, it was not
SNL.
purposeful, but I really wanted churros, and I was like, well, my body helped me out right here.
I've tried being bulimic when I was younger. Couldn't do it. I
No?
would just binge eat.
I had a
like,
4-month stint.
nice.
pretty
Way to
sick.
go. I can't do it.
It's control,
Don't have
though.
much of a gag reflex. I really like. I don't like. I'll gag, and a little bit will come up, but it's never. I can't like make myself barf if I drink too much or something like that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, mine's too easy.
It's really hard. I
Where
took
are you-
kratom once.
where are you- Kratom.
I was with
Kratom's
Mike
so
Rowland,
weird.
and he was like helping me, and I was like, I feel really bad, and I need to make myself. So I was just taking bigger and bigger objects and trying to make myself puke, and he was like, so that one still's not doing it, huh? And I was like, don't look at me. What were you saying?
Where are you from? I feel like you're from
Ithaca.
Philly. Oh, okay. You have a
Ithaca.
Philly vibe.
Really?
Yeah.
I think probably just because I'm affiliated with me.
Oh, maybe.
He's got a Philly. I'm from Ithaca. I'm from like the woods. Yeah, the woods.
That's nice.
Do you actually hunt, or do you just have that
No.
shirt?
I've
Okay.
never killed an animal.
Okay.
Oh,
that's good.
I'm really animal. I
Me
hate
too. I'm-
all people, and I love every single animal that
Ditto.
exists.
Yeah.
Even a bug. A bird.
I hate
love
killing
birds.
bugs. I hate killing cockroaches. I know that's crazy.
No, I saved I was walking from a spot in the rain on Saturday, and a worm was in too much water, and I picked up the worm and I put it in the dirt, like in the cemetery. So I was like, that worm, I don't think that worm can get out of there by itself.
Yeah,
but
it's,
yeah.
he can. Just,
What the
Really?
water? He seemed to be struggling. I let him do it for himself for a couple minutes,
Really?
and he didn't seem to have the wherewithal.
wow.
Yeah, because I don't like getting involved with nature if they can do it themselves, but it just seemed like it wasn't working out for him.
Yeah.
So
It really is a testament to how much people have their head up their own asshole at all times. That like animals, I would much rather be in the company of any animal than a person. Like I often ponder that and go, why is that? It's because animals are present with you, and they don't want anything from you. They're just there. It's nice.
Yeah, they're super. Also, I'm realizing now that I just got a dog, and it's like the way people interact. Like unless you're in Manhattan, but in Brooklyn, when dogs interact with each other because they're approaching each other like hi, it makes you go to the person. You're not like get away from your bitch. You're like hi, right?
Right.
Because you're like
Yeah.
you're watching
Hello.
two beings interact in a good way. Where
Yeah.
they're like we sniff, we check, and now we play. And so when you're interacting with people, it makes you way less of a piece of shit. Because you're like, I literally have evidence right here of how two people should behave. when they
Sure.
interact.
Right.
But yeah, I've always been. My dad was like a vegetarian, super. My whole family is like insane animal
rights.
people, and I always was like the one that was like, you guys are whack, just chill. And then I was like,
Then when you learn like makeup gets tested on animals, and then you learn how like chicken is the life of a chicken before you eat it, and you're like, now I'm eating your bad juju. I don't want that.
I know. Every time I take mushrooms, I'm like eating baby. Like, this could just be my own arm. This could just might as well be my own arm. This is crazy. But yeah, it's no, I don't hunt. I would hunt. I would try it. I have Alaskan friends. I would try it and eat everything. on
yeah,
it
it's
or
like if you're
whatever.
gonna eat it, yeah.
Yeah, but I'm not really like a fan of like skiing. I don't really like sitting in the cold.
Cold sucks. I don't
like
either.
it.
Yeah.
When I was really fat, I used to love it.
I used to be fat. How fat were you?
I was probably 190 in 7th grade.
How tall are you? You're kind of tall though.
I wasn't then.
Really?
Oh, you sprouted late? Your height came late?
Yeah. Also, all my friends are taller than me, so there's something wrong with upstate.
Something in the water in Ithaca?
But it's like Canada. You know how they're all like trees?
Yeah.
The more north you go, people just are way taller. All my female friends, anytime like I bring a pack of them around comedy comedians, they're like, Jesus, what's going on?
Yeah.
Redwood trees. But yeah, oh yeah.
That's my favorite personality type. I'm very intrigued by used to be fat.
Those are nice.
Yeah. I mean, there's just something. A lot of comics are used to be fat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's what would you say is the main takeaway of somebody who was overweight and then not anymore? Like what is it with your psyche or with your?
There's a fundamental feeling that that if left alone to my own devices, I will transform into a monster. Therefore, people who used to be fat are very much, they're really fun to be around because they're like, just stay interacting with me because if I'm by myself for a second, it'll get really, really rough. So I'm just going to entertain you and be around you so that we can be best friends. And then you'll love me. And then I won't have to be alone in a room in which the darkness will ascend.
Hell yeah.
I mean, which I still am. I mean, I still have a horrible food addiction, but it's like, I was also on so much medication as a kid that
Is that what made you overweight, or is that what you took medication to get?
What happens is if you take, I was just looking at it because now I'm on Prozac. I mean, I've been on Prozac for years, but the more Prozac you take, the more kind of slightly dissociated you are.
That's why everybody's not depressed, but they're also not happy.
They're not depressed. It's great. I mean, it's you don't really change who you are. You just don't get like if I tell myself not to eat, that's an obsessive thought, right? Like you're gonna control your diet.
Yeah.
But if I'm on something that says you're not freaking out, you don't have to freak out or anything. I'm just gonna hit dopamine a little bit more easily. Like I'm not going to have the obsessive thoughts to hold back. I'm just gonna be like, why not? And then next thing you do.
So wait, is the Prozac for ADHD, for obsessive compulsive disorder? What is
I
it
for OCD and for
Interesting. Okay, because I have OCD too, and I didn't know that you could take Prozac for OCD. How severe is your OCD? That seems a lot.
Oh no.
Oh yeah.
What's the thoughts that happen when they happen?
I mean, when I was a kid, it was like I couldn't touch any of the doorknobs in my school. Got into like a hippie school.
I get that.
There were people that would help. But people, my thing growing up was I thought people, so say we met right now and I was in high school and one of you said I cheated on my boyfriend.
Okay.
Or I hate my mom.
Okay.
And then you said, can I have a sip of that? Or can I touch that? I would think that your personality, where you're mean to your mom or you cheat, would rub off on me.
Oh,
And I knew it wasn't true, but
Oh,
so
okay.
then I would leave the room and everything on me would be contaminated because you might have touched it. And I would have to wash everything with 10 cups of soap. I would have to take a steaming shower. It's amazing.
No, this resonates a lot because so even now, like my OCD is a lot more under control than it used to be, but like I hesitate to like someone's Instagram post if they recently did something that I find to be like ethically bad because I feel like it will rub off on me.
Instagram, I have to do this since I'm scrolling.
Yeah.
And about to put my phone down. I have to, and I have to end on a comic I think is good. Like Instagram does
You think
this
it's gonna
shit.
get? You think it's gonna get on you? It's like it's a contagion that doesn't actually exist, but then in the OCD mind, it does. That's really funny because sometimes I'll have things and I'm like, is this a quirk or is this OCD? I've literally called other people with OCD to ask them, is this an OCD thought or is this just a Corinne thought? It's hard.
The dog like is a puppy, so she'll poop on things. And I have the amount of times I call my best friend being like, okay, 2 wet wipes and there's nothing there, but do you think I should take it? You know, and she'll be like, that's completely sufficient. That's fine. You know,
Nice.
she's been saving me my entire life. But I used to do this thing where I couldn't cross a crack if I had a bad thought.
Yeah. Cracks and sidewalks are hard. Yeah.
If I had a bad thought,
That's saying haunted us.
Yeah, I very playfully was like stepping on all the cracks.
No haunting.
I was obsessed about my mom getting hurt.
Yep, me too.
just my best friend Brianna would be like, if I say sugar plum, that means no matter what you're thinking, you get to move forward. So we would just be walking and I would stop,
interesting.
and I'd be like, and she'd be like, sugar plum, and then I could come. So then I ended up calling her, and she'd literally pick up and be like, sugar plum, and I'd be like, great.
What a good friend.
That's a great friend.
And then OCD chose her as the contaminated person. Didn't talk for a year.
Because you thought she was contaminated?
It just chose her. I knew it was happening.
It
She didn't do
shows
anything.
her. So it has like an entity, because you were saying you logically know that these things are not true. But so when you keep that logic, it is not enough to overpower you not doing it or not accessing it.
The OCD logic was she has always been, I was always like the fat one and she was the really beautiful one. And then boys started liking me, and I thought that if she would touch me, that the only reason they would like me is because she had touched me. So I slowly started pulling away, and after a year of, it was like very difficult year for both of us, I was like, it's OCD, and she's like, I know. And
Oh,
then
that's
immediately
really
we
good
became
friends.
best friends again.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's-
she's the best.
Wow. She didn't take it personally.
No, I mean,
Because
yeah.
something like OCD, I imagine, is so invasive. Like, you can't, like, how does it affect dating?
I mean, that's why I'm still on Prozac, because I tripped balls on acid once and was like, I'm gonna deal with this OCD, and I went into a trip for like an incredible amount of hours that was like horrific and also really good. But by the end of it, I was like, the reason why I have OCD is because I do not, like, I'm worried that we don't know who Jordan is. I could be somebody who stabs somebody or stabs myself, and I'm always obsessing about how to keep this unified sense of self. And then in the acid trip, I was like, oh, I'm like an amalgamation of genetics and also all the choices I've made, and all the choices I've made up till now have been Jordan, and that's who she is. And you can trust that person. Like, you can.
That's good.
You're not a sociopath. Yeah.
Or I'm not going to be on a roof and jump off. Like, that's the big
Right,
OCD.
right,
for me.
right.
So, but now I'm on Prozac because if there's, I mean, I have crippling depression also, but if there's in a relationship, it'll be like this. I mean, it'll be like, it's like, so say we hang up the phone and you're like, all right, I'll talk to you later. I'll just be like, hey, are you like mad at me? And they're like, no, I'm not mad at you. And I'm like, okay, just double checking you're not mad at me. Like, not
Nope.
mad at you.
Still not
And I'm
mad
like,
at
okay, but are you saying that because, so that's happened where you're like, I need a certain sentence to be said, and you can't let that happen at all because that like totally ruins any relationship.
It's a way to get someone to get mad at you real fast.
Right.
Yeah.
Unless, I
Or
mean, I
annoyed with you.
imagine,
Yeah.
like, your best friend, like, if you have, so I think of the people in my life that I no longer talk to because they were so difficult to deal with.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, now that I zoom back, I'm like, oh, this is what was going on. If I would have just known that, I wouldn't have taken it personally.
Yeah.
So it seems like you have good communication with, like, at least that one best friend. It's like, she gets it. It's not personal.
Yeah.
So that's nice. You can feel seen and heard.
But in
even if you're
relationships, you'll get addicted to the hit. Like you get you'll have to. Then every time I call, if it doesn't end that certain way, I will have to get it the next time. So the only way to deal with it, like I still have one tick where if I take my pills at night, I have to drink a huge amount of water, or else I think I'm gonna die in my sleep. And the only way I can get rid of that is to take one sip of water and go to sleep. And that's impossible for me right
Really?
now.
Really?
But if I did it, that would be the step to move past that.
Have you ever, like, did you have, I know a lot of personality disorders or like mental things can be traced, its roots can be traced to usually a childhood thing, but sometimes not. Does OCD have roots in that? Like, or are you just born with it?
I think it has roots. My personal opinion
was like, oh, I want to do like a past life regression or something. I feel like there's deeper roots to this.
That's, yeah, I don't know. I've never thought of I mean, it'd probably be a boy or an animal. I don't imagine my past life was a woman.
Yeah. This could be your first life as a woman.
It could
Yeah,
be.
doing
And that's
that.
why you feel like
I'm
you might
struggling.
stumbling through.
Yeah.
I feel like it's good. It's a good time to feel like you're
Yes.
kind of just starting as a woman because it's so cool to be like non-binary.
Against the
or-
grain.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then everybody's like, are you not binary? No, I'm just a bad woman. Just insufficient, you know.
But you seem to like, you still do well. You have boyfriends and stuff. Like men are attracted to you, right?
Yeah.
And women, or
Are you straight, bi, or straight?
Straight, unfortunately.
I know.
but I feel like it
say
must
that all
be
the time.
like tiring to keep having to tell people that you're straight.
It's super tiring.
Yeah.
It's super tiring, and it's also like, it makes me angry because I think that it's almost like being like, you're utilitarian, therefore you're gay. It's like,
Right.
no, I don't understand that. But I
Chick
also,
who does stuff.
yeah,
It's okay.
and I'm just operating like a man. Like I was raised by basically two men. My mom is the least maternal, most masculine person, and my dad was like a cowboy.
Wow.
So and I'm like, I'm just doing what they do, and then when I try and do female stuff, my feet hurt, and I don't know.
Dude, high heels.
I mean, it's insane.
My feet hurt too.
I have a pair of Alice and Olivia high heels that I haven't worn in years, and I tried them on my house just for such shits and giggles. I fell over. I'm like, what the fuck do women piss themselves to do this? It does look really hot, but it's like absolutely not worth the pain. I'd have to numb my legs to be okay with going outside in shoes.
Luckily, I figured out that if you can just go full, if you are self-possessed in the masculinity, like the Pamela Adlon kind of thing,
Oh, I love them.
then you're fine. You just
Yeah.
have to like, you can't. It's when you try and cover it up, it's over.
Yeah, you might as well lean into it. It's,
Yeah,
it's,
yeah.
something unique about you.
So like, when's the last time you wore a dress?
Oh, I went to a wedding. I wore Converse in it,
Nice.
Okay.
but I had to wear Converse.
Right.
I can wear a dress if I can do it. It just has to have punk-ish.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It can't be floofy.
Yeah.
In college, I could more. There could be a farmy dress or like a punky dress, but it has to be very. Nothing can be uncomfortable. I can't be like.
That's wise.
Yeah. I
You know?
can't. Because then I
Why
get
be
hostile. Then I'm like, why am I? Oh my god.
Totally.
I'm just grappling with people in a dress.
So what kind of guys do you like, and what kind of guys are attracted to you? And they could be the same thing, but they could be different.
Guys that are attracted to me are the people who are like a little simpy
Yeah.
because they want a dad, you know, and I'll be your dad's son. Yeah, and you know what I mean. Like they're a little bit like poetic.
Oh, I love that kind of guy.
Yeah, that's what usually goes for me. I think there's a little bit of I have the masculinity that they're lacking, and I also think there's like romanticism around like being androgynous together. That's typically, and what I'm into is like guys who are really like withholding with emotion. And very, yeah. I'm into like guys who are very like. I'm into guys who are into girls who are more feminine.
Interesting. What is that about? What's up to do that?
Because I think they're right. You know what I mean? Like, if a guy's not into me, I'm like, you are correct, sir.
Oh, so
But
you don't keep trying to like, so it's not something of like I'm gonna conquer this, like meaning like I'm gonna get you to like me. It's not that in any way, because you don't normally go for a woman like me. You go for this X type of woman.
I will try.
Yeah.
I try my damnedest.
Like, what?
Yeah.
So what is Jordan
How?
trying? Yeah. What does that look like?
Good question.
It's not wearing lipstick. We
Yeah,
know
no
that.
lipsticks, no dresses. Maybe it's just Jordan having a conversation in her own head and not telling the guy about it, and then just walking by.
It's
See what happens.
it's like a over divulgence. I'll overly, I'll do that.
Okay.
Or I'll be also like probably if you were two men in here, not women, probably my demeanor would
androgynous is the word. Like, you just have an androgyny about you. That's like, and androgyny is so appealing. It's a really appealing quality because it's very rare. It's like very rare.
I'm very sick of people thinking it really drives me crazy because
If they just listen to you, it's very clear from your stand-up that you're not gay. Like, if people don't listen to people.
yeah, they don't listen.
I love.
No, but you're gay.
Yeah.
I know if I was, actually. So
Yeah.
Thank you.
I have a joke where I say lesbians on the internet are always like, it's not a choice, we're born this way, and then they meet me and I'm like, you know, like, I'm like, dude, I thought this wasn't up to me. It's also, I have a mom who's 10 times, I mean, we are
Gayer than you.
similar in the androgyny, yeah, but she's like, I mean, right now, if we had like a mirror to her, she would be wearing a full nail bag, she'd have a bandana going around her head, like,
Nice.
she is like so I'm very feminine compared to my mom.
Sure. Right.
But she, I think she would have been non-binary if she was in our generation for sure.
Nice.
Like recently, she was like, "I just want my name to be Dylan," and I was like, "Mom, "Okay, I can call you Dylan, Mom."
Is that
She's
a
like,
cry for
"No,
help, She was just testing out the idea
Yeah.
and see how
And she
it
just
landed.
liked it. Her name is Kaz, which is like
Whoa.
no, yeah,
Yeah, it feels like it could be
fun.
either. Yeah. It's
yeah.
either.
And she has a quality that isn't. She's not like a short-haired bulldog or anything. She has like long silvery hair. She's very. She just is. She is also androgynous. So I really just don't. I never really knew the difference.
Right.
And
Well, I love an androgynous man. I mean, to me, Matt
love
Rife is
androgynous
very
men.
androgynous.
he looks like one of my moms.
And that,
He looks like just like Donna.
and that's what I find appealing. Like, I guess he's like traditionally good looking, but I'm like, there's an androgyny there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's, I think women almost aren't like recognizing or coming to terms like that. I'm like, no, he looks a little bit like a chick.
Everyone went to high school with the person that was like, I don't know if you're a dude or a woman, but you're hot and
Yeah.
I like it, and that's what it is.
It's appealing to everyone.
Yeah.
I know. I always say that my type is David Bowie.
Ooh,
Like
great
just
type.
he's so masculine. He's so daddy in it, but he's wearing a skin tight. Like
Yeah,
Right.
That's very
David
much-
Bowie's brand of sexuality is beautiful.
Yeah.
Big fan.
But I realize I am just a personality. It has to be somebody who is. It's a level of like hyper. I don't know. I mean, it's like they have to be. They have to like be on board with like a super amount of like analysis of every single moment. That's pretty much what I need. Passive. Somebody who's passively existing. I'm like I can't talk to. Somebody who walks into a room and like really constructs the things going on.
Dawson from Dawson's Creek.
Ooh, right.
I don't want to.
I mean, he loves, if you're talking about someone who's going to overanalyze a moment, you probably wouldn't like him on the show, but James Vanderbeek now is like great on Instagram. Great follow on Instagram.
Okay.
And his mom died and he talks about it a lot. I like that. He's a really good grief counselor.
Really?
It's really good with it. Yeah. But he's like building like he like moved out to like rural Texas and he has a really big family. Like they can't stop having kids and he like will build stuff. I like people who build stuff though. I need someone to bring something to the table that I can't do. I can do almost everything, but I can't build stuff.
Yeah.
So
Stuff. A really funny thing happened the other day. I was like, the person that I'm seeing is also a carpenter like me,
Cool.
and he was.
do you self-describe as a
Jesus.
carpenter?
I was a contractor.
Oh, you
working
actually were. Okay.
With
Yeah.
a saw and it's so fun.
It's so fun.
It's so fucking fun to build something.
Yeah, that was my job through comedy.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I only stopped pandemic.
Oh, this is
Wow.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a very high demand job.
Oh my God, you're so useful.
Yeah.
Like she needs a deck. Can you build one?
Decks are my favorite thing to build. Well, I like
Oh my
serious?
god, that's perfect.
Yeah, because I like
her
building.
deck as a whole.
I wish I had known this when the wood rot was small because I really was trying to fix it myself. I was watching YouTube videos and now the wood rot has gotten big and I gotta just replace
Is
the
it?
whole thing.
Is it a part?
It's like they're a hole created in one of the planks,
Yeah.
and I was like, I could just replace the plank, but then I was like, I wanted to use that. I forgot what it's called, but like instead of having a wood deck that you have to redo every year or so, there's that material
Yeah.
that is everlasting
in-betweener.
now,
Yeah, right.
and I just want to invest in that.
Tech or a,
Yes, the
yeah.
tech thing, yeah. Mhm.
Yeah. You should replace that.
Have you built a deck?
A million houses, decks. houses.
Houses.
I'm obsessed with figuring out how to build a house, tiny little house in wood, because the framing
rats and cockroaches in the walls?
No.
No. Really?
No.
That's good.
They run when you hit the wall.
Oh, okay.
They're
So they
so
were there, but they left.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
Get out of my fucking way.
Okay.
Yeah. The demo is loud enough that they all leave. I was always worried that I always was like I did a crepe store that I turned into a barber shop.
Okay.
And I was always worried. I was like, I'm gonna hit one of these walls and it's gonna be Cockroach City.
Right.
But it wasn't. They're really good at
Fleeing.
fleeing.
Okay.
Good. That's good.
And I don't.
wanna
They
see.
also in the middle of the night. That's when they don't flee. So
Right. Okay, sorry. We got onto
Yeah,
the deck.
really.
We were talking about you're the guy that you're dating who's also into
he
carpentry.
was fixing my sink
Right.
because yeah, it's like he was doing the sink and then he came into the other room and I had all of his tools and like was putting up this like whole thing on my window and it was nice to it was just funny because I was almost trying to not be too like
Real bro?
I was trying to not be too like I didn't want to be overly like masculine. I didn't want to, you know what I
Don't
mean?
dim your carpentry
I know,
light. Don't.
I know.
Don't.
And
Honestly,
I could feel
don't.
that happening, and it was just funny that he came into the other room. I basically have like safety gun. I'm like,
That's so
nail
good.
gun.
That's cool though, and it's unique.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've ever met a woman who could build a deck.
Yeah.
I'm into
like
this. This
I
is
like
great.
habits that are like very stereotypically masculine. Like I could change the brakes on a car. I grew up like working on cars. I fucking love it. I think
That's
it's
so
really
really
good.
fun.
I can't
Yeah.
do that, and I wish I could do that so much.
It's
love
really
cars.
fun.
I love every field I've ever worked in is male dominated. I went to school to be a director. I'm a stand-up comedian, and I own a baseball card store. These are all male leads. It's my family business.
Wow.
Yeah.
Your family owns it.
Well, yeah. So it was like my dad opened it, and then like my mom was like helping him in 1989, and then my dad passed away, and I just decided I'm gonna take this over. I just love. I don't know. There's something like very fun and challenging to me about like inserting myself in a male-dominated world.
Yeah, it's the best.
And it's funny because I mean everyone talks to me like I'm a fucking idiot, but then also men come into my shop to get free therapy, and they think they're tricking me.
How do you work in there?
Yes, I go like once a week. We're actually closing the brick and mortar down because it's been for 3 years. It was always like a temporary thing. But I mean, it has been such an interesting experience. And yeah, everyone was like, if you work there, I'm like, well, that's the fun of it. Like, I wanted to own the store,
Yeah.
to be in the store. It wasn't like
Come
some
with
like
your
money
keys.
grab.
Yeah.
There's easier ways to make money than a baseball card store. But yeah, no, I love being in the space with the stuff. And I mean, that could also be OCD too, because it was like, you know, extending my dad's life, like being around his possessions. So, I mean, maybe that's OCD, but we're not even going to go into it. It was extremely helpful, and that's all I need to know.
With OCD, I have that too. I'm just so like precious about everything.
Is your dad dead?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
When he died?
Let's talk about this.
He
Yeah.
died, I was 23.
Oh shit. Oh, you were young.
Yeah.
Ooh.
He died of a heart attack. He was also a contractor. So he laid a foundation.
Yeah, my dad too.
Really?
Yeah.
The heart attack?
Cardiac arrest. Yeah.
So yeah, he just went to sleep.
Oh, geez, he died in his sleep.
It was good. It was good.
That's the dream.
I know. I was very jealous. I was like, you
Pussy ass bitch.
bitch. Yeah. It was crazy. So yeah, when he died, yeah, that does trigger the OCD. You're like always worried about that. You know, you're like attached in a way. And there's items you don't want to get rid of because of OCD. But
Well, I was also trying to keep the smell on his shirts, and I was like,
I
well,
hate that.
but then you can't. What do you do? Like, I'm like, I guess I could have ziplocked them, but I wanted to wear them. You know?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I'm crazy. I fucking like this is crazy. I like. He got cremated, but I asked for a viewing because I thought that would give good closure. Like, where Jews don't usually do kind of sometimes they don't usually do viewings, though open casket certainly not. But I requested it, and they'll kind of do whatever you want. And I like literally leaned in like the coffin, and like I smelled, so I could I could remember his smell. And I think I did actually create like a memory that I can access. Can you access smell memories?
I can do that with my dad's stuff because I did
Yeah.
the same thing. I was sniffing his everything he had. So,
Yeah.
and when it was starting to fade, that was when I was starting freaking out, and I was like, dude, this sucks. But luckily, the thing about the nice thing is my dad smells like gasoline, cigarettes,
Oh, so you can get those
and
smells.
sawdust. Yeah. So like one of my closest friends, Megan, she reeks of my father.
even when my dad was alive, I hate smoking myself, like doing the action myself. It hurts my throat a lot. But even like in the winter, I'll follow people extra blocks who are smoking, because even when he was alive, I think that the cigarette smoke, I found it to be very comforting.
So
There's something super comforting about it.
totally.
I love it.
Yeah.
Like the way a guy will follow like a hot chick because she has like a nice ass. Like that's me and cigarette smoke.
Yeah.
I love it.
It's so nice. I totally agree. Yeah, cigarette smoke with a little gasoline. Oh my god.
Gasoline just in general smells great.
I fucking love the smell of
Smells so
gasoline.
good.
So
What is it about? It's
I don't know.
weird. It's
I have no
I
idea.
fucking love that smell so
I
much.
would like to figure out why that is so good.
Can you, Eric, can you research if there's a reason why people are attracted to the scent of gasoline, please?
It's the best when you just get you from there.
Oh, that's
Maybe.
true.
I don't feel woozy, but I love when I'm pumping my
Oh.
car with gas and it leaks, and I'm like,
Yeah,
that's good.
it's the best.
How was grieving your dad? That's a sudden. That's a very sudden loss.
I
right?
did not grieve, so I threw myself right into comedy. We were super close, so I went right into comedy, and I was kind of in denial for a while. Like I was like, y'all think he's dead. I mean, in my head, like subconsciously.
Sure.
I was like, we know what's up. Like you guys didn't know. Like it's fine.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I'm gonna move to New York, and my friends in Nashville were like, let's slow down. We're like, because a lot of things were happening. My best friend got paralyzed.
fuck.
Yeah, from college, and then and I was like taking care of her, and then my dad died, and my friends were like, just come to Nashville, relax. And then in Nashville, I started to grieve a little bit, but then it was only like a couple years later that I was like just all of a sudden realized that I wasn't going to talk to him again, and that's when it really hit me. That's when I was like, oh, this is crazy.
Yeah.
And you never. I mean, I don't think it's like. I think the grieving like continued. Like the other day, my sister was describing when she found him, and she was just describing that he was the way he was laying, and she did like an impression, and I was like, and I started crying because I was like, oh my god, I miss seeing him sleep like that. Like I
Yeah.
know the way you're talking about.
Sure.
So it'll come in these overwhelming waves where you're like, dude, come on, like this is crazy. It's been enough time. Let's
It's your dad,
Yeah,
man.
totally.
It's half of you.
Just
You grew
hanging
up with
out.
him, you know, I can't imagine.
Yeah, or like sometimes, yeah, like he was the dog person, so with my dog, and sometimes I just do a thing where I'm just like walking around, and then I'll feel a certain way, and I'll be like, kind of fill him in,
Yeah.
like, you know what I mean?
Oh, I fully like just have conversations
Yeah.
with a photo.
yeah.
Why not?
I definitely have conversations. Every time I'm in the ocean, there's a conversation, because when before he died, he was like, if you're in the ocean and I'm not around, I'm with you every time you're in the ocean.
Aw.
So now when I'm in the ocean, I'm like, it's so blue, and I was crying. It's great, 'cause it's already wet. So nobody knows.
How convenient.
It's really nice.
Do you not like letting people see you cry? Is that like a hard for you?
Yes, it's very hard. My therapist has seen me cry so much, but yeah, it's friends never.
Really?
Never friends.
Have you had to hold it in with friends when you feel crying coming on? Oh,
I mean, I'm just like, it's, you know, I'm like, I got it. But I recently, like, because my therapist was like, hey, I don't know, like, a lot of times how you feel. Like, I know what you're thinking, and I know that you're thinking a million things, but, like, how are you feeling? And so I was with one of my friends recently, and I was so overwhelmed by everything, and I thought of that, and I was like, I'm just gonna, like, say how I feel, and I just started, like, sobbing.
wow.
And I was like, I just didn't do it. And it was nice, but it did make me realize that I'm very, like, reserved. Yeah, with my actual friends. In a partnership, when I'm dating somebody, I'm like,
Yeah. What makes you feel safe? Yeah, that's confusing. To me a little bit.
Friendships are safer than a relationship.
Right. That's what I was thinking too. So, what makes you feel safer in a relationship than in a friendship?
friendship, I'm worried that I have to be the one that is. I guess I get worried that they are going to. There's something. It's like a fear that they will become more attached or something. Like if I cry in front of them.
So, do you like to keep your friends at a little bit of a distance?
You know what it is? That the affection that comes with crying in front of friends, I hate. Like with Brianna, we both know that neither of us want to be physically consoled. You know what I mean?
Right.
Sure.
Well,
I
yeah,
love
it's hot.
full light.
Yeah.
Full light on
Yeah.
sets.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I'm definitely addicted to like which I don't get, which I don't do with friends.
Yeah.
Dogs are
Oh.
awesome with that.
A nap with a dog is
Oh,
truly the
dog
best
nap.
thing
Rejuvenating.
in the
best.
world. We all have dogs, yeah.
And then your dog's like a little like heated blanket,
Yeah.
like it becomes like a little heated water bottle. This is
And they're so
Dogs are the
little
best.
puppy treats.
But yeah, it is. Yeah, I think I'm not. I'm super anxious. I mean, I will
Yeah.
stay in a relationship.
Well, I'm an anxious attachment, but I'll do this thing where if I feel like there's an area of the relationship that's off, I'm like, well, we'll just break up because it's not gonna work, right? Like, well, I'm just gonna go, and they're like, what the fuck?
I do that every day.
Yeah.
That's all I do. It's like, okay, well, it's over then. Okay,
Yeah,
I'm gonna
right,
go. I'm gonna go.
right.
And then if they're like, yeah, it is, I'm like,
Oh, yes, exactly.
what did you just say?
How fucking dare
Yeah,
you end this? But you guys are doing that because so that you can break up with the person before they break up with you. Is that why? Feel like control.
I'm testing.
That's the because like for me, like
There's testing.
I
there's
also
control.
don't give things a long time to work out, but it's because anytime my life is less better than it would be alone, or I'm inconvenienced in the slightest, to me the price of admission stops being worth
So
it.
you're who I date. That's exactly what I date. I date dudes who are like, yes, I'm happy.
Oh shit! Right. I just feel like it's extremely hard, and I think this is harder as you get older and more successful. But like to find someone who's making my life better, that's very hard.
I think that anybody who is like you,
Yeah.
like anybody who thinks I'm in the way, if I'm with them, they will.
How would this different person make your life?
Because they obviously.
I do make
When you get out of the way.
I do make my boyfriend's lives better. Like I think even though a lot of them are mad at me now, I think they across the board they would answer she'd made my life better. Actually,
Yeah. That's cool.
I mean,
I don't feel that way, but that's great.
you don't feel that way about you.
About me. No way. I made my life. The guys that hit living hell. No, I think
I
that.
mean, ultimately, some of them, after I dragged them through the dirt, like, that was a long time after, though. But, like, if you ask them immediately after, did she make your life better? They would say yes.
I think that my whole MO is like, what do I do? What do I do? Am I bad? Am I bad? Am I bad? So if somebody's going, I know what bad is.
Right.
Because I'm being dismissive of you. So if I say you're good, you're okay. But if somebody's like, I love you, and I'm like, that's because you love everything, and I can't even trust that, so you're not the person to follow. If somebody's like, yeah, I don't do this, but I'm doing it with you, I'm like, great. Then I can
feel
sleep at
special.
night. Yeah.
I can understand that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't trust anyone in any walk of life who loves everything.
Right.
Yeah, because then
Totally.
you're just not yourself. There's no way you could be yourself because
Like-
no one loves everything.
Yeah, like even comedically, like an audience that's laughing at everyone. Like you know that feeling when you're watching a comic who everyone knows fucking is a suck ass hack.
Yeah, yeah,
and the
yeah. The
audience,
audience
is
loves it.
yucking it up.
Oh,
I
it's
go on
terrible.
stage immediately. I already don't have respect for the audience, so I actually am trying to make them not laugh so
Yeah.
that I don't lose respect for my own act.
Yeah. Totally.
Because I know that you guys don't have taste, so
Yeah.
I don't even want to play this game with you anymore.
Totally. Yeah. I try and make them feel really weird. Yeah. Where I'm just
feel
like,
like that's
well, now, oh, you guys want to laugh? Well, now let's talk about death.
Right, let's have a bad time.
Yeah, we're gonna have a bad time too because I'm gonna teach you a lesson. I think that person is funny. Yeah, I do the same thing. Totally.
I love that. Well, I find it a little challenging to be a comic sometimes. It's like here's a little thick of them. Sometimes you need to. Sometimes it would help me. It would make my life a touch easier if I cared.
So what do you think?
My boyfriend, who I felt probably like was most like I dated a guy who was like basically the male version of me, but a bad person, and I don't find myself to be a bad person. That was great. I loved
That
it.
was good.
I loved dating someone who was like me.
Yeah.
It was really good. We really understood each other.
What do you think, bad person?
It turned out ultimately, I didn't know that in the beginning, but yeah.
So it's like if you date an avoidant, the problem is they're avoidant and they do things like cheat or.
They just don't want to hang out.
I don't
And if you don't want to
cheat.
hang out either.
But like, is that like why do avoidants always get caught up with people like me? You know what I mean? Why is there that avoidant? anxious.
I feel like then you both feel the need to fulfill a role.
Yeah.
That's an agreement in your head that you made a while ago that you're still attached to.
I
Right.
Because
prefer
if you,
avoidant. Yeah.
If you were with an anxious attachment person, that might be good. Would that be good or no? No, not good.
That would be. My
Because then
ther-
you're like, you don't have to worry about your anxiety fucking up the relationship because they have it too, and you get it, so you're probably not pissed off.
But then
about
I'm
it.
very mean. Then I become.
and then you. So you're the yin and yang. So
If
you
somebody
will
starts
compliment.
being like, "I need you," I'm like, "Yeah, get the fuck away."
Yeah, see that drives me nuts. Like
Yeah.
even with I've had like like girl crush friends. Like I've had friends become like female friends become really obsessed with me, and like I've probably never been meaner to a person. And like it's not, and it's not because it's not like this thing of like, oh, I think you have bad taste. Like I think you have good taste if you like me, but there's also just like I lose respect for people who are like, please like me.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. But I am.
That's a
please,
weak
like,
ass.
Sure.
you don't. It's so interesting.
You don't give off that vibe.
Yeah, you don't
Yeah,
come
not
out. You're
with
hiding
women,
it.
but in a relationship.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
It's bad.
Do you give guys a spiel before you start dating them?
Is there a press meeting?
They usually, usually there's like a intense enmeshment in like a conversation that goes down a wild rabbit hole and then they're kind of locked in. Yeah. It's also like there are a couple of avoidant people that I've been with who I just stayed super attached to. And then the people in the interim are like, people that I was like, yes, I'm going to do my best to love you. But fundamentally, if that avoidant walked in and was like, let's go, I'd be like, all right, let's do it.
Right.
Well, I think the ideal scenario is to get an avoidant, an avoidant basically is somebody who is self-possessed. That's the problem with this whole thing. An anxiously attached person is somebody who is insecure and feels that they need another person to complete them, and an avoidant feels like they are complete.
Yeah.
And then the problem with avoidant is they feel that other people will make them incomplete, right? So I think
They're gonna fuck with my wholeness.
yeah,
Right.
so I think
Yes.
the goal is say you meet somebody who feels self-possessed and they push you away, for them to then be like, actually, you do make my life better. Let's
Yes.
figure out how to make this. Let me figure out how to not do this push away thing. I think that's ideal. Or an anxious person to be like, actually, I do like myself, but you add to it and not a way that makes me feel like I'm incomplete. I think that's like the goal.
Of course.
But the thing is, the triggers are the problem. Like if I'm, like if an anxious person if I put too much pressure on an avoidant, they bail, and that triggers the shit out of my abandonment. So then I'm freaking out and being like, but you need space? Okay, I'll give you space. No, there's enough space. We're done. Okay, I'm in your backpack. I'm behind you. And they're like, for the love of God.
Yeah.
So I think it's just a matter of, it's just all of the, it's just basically being resistant to
vulnerability.
or being resistant to your knee-jerk reaction to respond to something that isn't actually there. So when somebody's like, I need space, to be like, that means they don't like me. That's
No, like the key to bagging an avoidant is actually pretty easy. It's like when they push you away, stay away, and then they go, oh no, why are they away? And it gives us the false sense in our heads that we can then approach at our own pace, and then we'll come back. If we really like you, we'll come back.
right. But there's the whole thing of within that space, what an anxious person is.
For sure.
Just distracting yourself. Just distracting yourself.
No avail.
Because as an anxious avoidant, it always helps me. I force another crush on. So I'm just gonna develop a crush on whoever the fuck is
That
in
can
your
be
life.
very
I call that
helpful, though.
spinning
Very
plates,
helpful.
where you're trying
Very
to date somebody who's an avoidant, so you just spin all these plates with
Yes.
another three.
Yeah.
so
That
that you're
rotation
like,
in.
I got him.
So that you're not too much for any of them.
Yeah.
And then by the time one of them's like, hey, let's do this, then you can show them that you're too much later.
Yes, I'm trying to, or really what the spinning plates are there is to be like, look, other people like me.
Yeah,
Just
for
like,
sure.
So I'm trying to not do
hot
that, just to be
commodity.
like, yeah, I am a, and also, I'm also trying to just say the thing that's going on. So instead of
That's
being like,
great.
you know what, I'm leaving, to just be like, I feel insecure.
Yeah. Yeah,
Which
that's
is
freeing.
Yeah, which is super freeing, and it's hard for avoidance to not be like, that's gross.
Right.
In my head, I was literally thinking, I'd lose respect.
Yeah.
The person if they said that to me, even though
I would too.
I respect the honesty, but the fact that another person can make you feel that insecure drives me personally fucking insane.
Logically, I think that is correct. I don't think another person should be able to make you feel. The only reason why somebody makes you feel
Let's give your power away.
right, but it's like if what you do impacts me, it's because I've ascribed to you a disproportionate amount of
Right.
Which just means that I'm trying to fill some childhood thing. Like I've decided that because you're ignoring me, you're the equivalent of my parents.
And the desire for an adult child to make up for what happened is, it's like a drug addict trying to score a hit.
Yes.
It will happen.
I know. I told my.
We're not
I
gonna
was telling
sleep.
my therapist. I was like, "What about the fact that I want that? Like, I want the feeling of that more
It's
than anything in
repair.
the world."
Yeah, and the nature, Jesus Christ, the energy of that is crazy. Like it will drag me out of in the middle of a thing I agreed to
Totally.
years ago.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I gotta go. Bye. Like, what the fuck?
Totally.
Yeah.
But it is like I was like, I want the feeling of dad protector.
Yeah.
To my therapist, I was like, I don't want that to be off the table. Like, because that's what you read in like attachment books. Is they're basically like, that's addiction, is to have that feeling of like this person is protecting me. And my therapist was like, no. You pick a person who's ignoring you and go, daddy. He's like, you actually could meet somebody, fall in love with them, get to a place of safety, and then be like, they're protecting me. And I was like, so I can still daddy. I was like,
But yes, just take it different.
yes, yeah.
Yeah, no, feeling protected is lovely. Even I like that.
Yeah.
Like
How do
even
you
through
do that?
friendship or or relationship. Like I like to feel like people have my fucking back. I'm very into loyalty. That's like the Jersey Italian in me.
Yeah. So in a relationship, if somebody, so you don't want a relationship to feel safe. You don't need that. You have it in friendships.
I mean, I don't want it to feel unsafe, but it's not something I'm seeking. I don't feel safe in front. I feel safe in me. No one's safer than me.
So like
For
a
me.
storm hits and a tree branch goes through your window and you're really freaked out. You're like, I got this.
I mean, I can't fix the hole in the window myself, but I'm not like someone holds me.
Really?
Right.
I'm immediately someone holds.
What is someone holding me gonna do? Everyone's incompetent, Jordan. Everyone's incompetent. I take my dog,
Do you ever give
move away
yourself
from
a
the
hug?
window, and call somebody like you who could fix it.
But don't you want? Okay, what if
Very logical.
you have? What if you get mugged?
Okay.
I mean,
Don't you want to call a dude to be like, oh, mugged? And they'll be like,
no, I want to fucking kill that person myself.
No, I would go to the police, you file the thing, and then move on with my day.
I want sympathy.
Yeah, because you're making up for not getting it.
Yeah, totally. I want somebody to be like, it's okay.
Yeah.
You'll be okay. Pat. That's all I want. Yeah. That's why
So you gotta give that to yourself.
She sucks. She can't do it.
She can. She sucks with that attitude.
But so how is this working with like you becoming like more famous? Like, so do you think that the people who are your fans suck because they like you?
Yeah.
No, it's okay to say.
gotta be honest.
They're gonna like you more, Jordan. That's gonna make them like you more.
These cucks are gonna
yeah,
like
these
it.
fucking cocks.
Do I think they suck? I mean, to be honest, say a fan comes up and they go like this. They go, "Hi, I'm a huge fan. I brought him.
Yeah.
He had never heard of you.
Yeah.
My attention gravitates towards that person.
That's normal though, because it's too much energy. Even if you don't think the person sucks, it's just too much like thirsty energy. And I think everyone talks to the friend more.
Okay.
I think that's just
At least they're not as
normal.
thirsty.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think it's thirsty because they don't know. I think I am. I like my comedy, and I think that if somebody's like, she's funny, that's true.
Okay.
But if somebody knows deeply who I am, that I am a little simp bitch that wants to be held, and they like me, then I'm like, you're gross. But my fans don't see me be a little simp bitch.
So you like that they like the version of you that you've concocted for them to like.
Well, I like her too.
Yeah.
Right.
Because
Is that
that's-
like who you aspire to be?
No, I mean, I think I'm honest about being a simp bitch on
Right.
stage. Like, I talk about that, but I also am like, as a comedian, this person's great. As a child who didn't get any attention and is trying to be in relationships with people, that it's not fun. It's not fun.
Okay.
So when a boyfriend is like, I really love you, I'm like, why? But if a fan is like, I love you, I'm like, yeah, I've been working on that. Thank you.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if somebody's like, say somebody is like, do you want to go on a date with me? I really like your comedy. Immediately. So I'm like, I'm not. If somebody sees me trip and fall and is like,
I'll never talk to you again.
if somebody sees me trip and fall and I, hurt myself and they're like, can I help you up? Do you want to get coffee? I'm like, great. You already know that I'm somebody who's just on the ground. But if somebody likes me because they see me up on stage, I'm like, that's not. I'm a ground person.
Right.
You know what I mean?
But that
So
feels
you have a thing of like, you don't really know who I really am, and if you did, you'd run kind of thing.
Yeah. Totally.
I also think it's like it's sane for you to want people to like the real you, not performance you.
Yeah.
I also wouldn't like it if someone was like, I'm a big fan of your podcast. Do you want to go on a date? That's fucking
It's weird.
It's crazy why so many male comics
Because guys don't want-
It's
because guys don't wanna work
insane,
that
Jordan,
hard.
and I let them know you're fucking.
But
insane.
these guys don't need to feel seen and heard. They just want to puss.
Yeah.
I almost wish I didn't need that.
Yeah. Totally.
Just getting dick.
You're right. They
Whoever's
just
attached to
have
the dick don't
drain
matter.
it.
Yeah.
And that's the way to do
Yes.
it. They're not like I'm attracted to this
Drain
person and I'm gonna be with them.
balls.
They're like,
Yes.
I just want to come
Yeah.
and see an ass.
It really does feel like it's that simple.
I know. I
Fucking jealous.
The older I get, the more I
Yeah.
interrogate men, the more I realize
Damn, you guys really are just that simple.
it's just like they always say the same thing. They're always like, "Hey, I'm human." I'm like, "No, you're
Yeah.
a man.
Yeah.
That's not
Right.
human."
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I don't have that where I'm like, I have to come right now. That's never.
Yeah, a
happens.
woman. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, it might happen like after some build up and some contemplation and thinking about it, but it isn't like, you know what tonight is. It's come night.
Yeah, if
It's
I don't come right now, I'm gonna be cranky.
Yeah.
It's like really bad.
There's an excuse to come. There's like that thing that I find with men where they're like, this is a good, like I have to, there's a scarcity mentality around coming. You know what I mean? For
With
them. Yeah.
Right.
So
This
it's like,
could be my last cum.
if
Yeah.
somebody offers me a brownie and
Yeah.
I'm not hungry, I will take it because I have a scarcity mentality around food. If somebody offers pussy to a man,
Sure.
they're like,
Right.
I'll do
I
whatever
must
it is.
take it.
Yeah. Because it
Yeah.
might not be there, which might be my
Yeah. And you might be right.
You're a sex person. Do you have scarcity around sex? Like if you get the hot guys like let's have sex, do you feel impulsed?
No, I feel compulsed to not give it to him because he always gets it because he's hot. That's
Oh,
sick,
yeah.
isn't it?
No, that makes sense.
Like that's why I refuse to fuck celebrities. They get it all the time. They'll remember you more if you say no than if you say yes.
Yeah.
I'd rather be remembered than get the sex. It's a long-term goals, not short-term goals.
Yeah. I've never gotten. That's why the one night stand thing is really strange to me. Like this is, we'll just walk away having had sex with me.
Yeah, the guy, the guy I wanted to have sex with most in the world, and like probably still is the person I would want to fuck most in the world. Like literally, like just like brings me to my knees. I had the chance to have sex with him, and I didn't, and that's why we're still in touch. I can't say. I can tell you privately. It's just kind of.
Yeah, it's weird.
I'll fuck all the celebrities.
Kind of is weird to say, but yeah. So I'll just say
He is.
yes.
He is.
Kind of was rude, and I apologize. Yeah, that's right.
He's gonna
Come
wanna
back.
fuck you more now.
Yeah, I know. Come back for more, baby.
Wow. Yeah, I know a girl who met Harry Styles.
Did she
and
fuck him?
He tried to have sex with her, and she was like, "No, I'm hanging out with my friends." And at the time,
That's sick.
Harry
That's
Styles
powerful.
is one of the hottest men on the planet.
I know, me too. And I forever was like, she's an idiot. And I'm like,
No, because you could
No, that was
always
a
kind of
boss
like
move.
jerk off for the fact that you turned him down. Oh,
yeah,
That's sick as fuck. Harry Styles thinks about your friend, and if she
I
fucked
know,
him,
and I'm talking about.
yes.
One, like,
This
I
is
don't
a
think
memorable
many people
moment.
have said no
Genius.
to Leonardo DiCaprio, and I had a woman DM me once and said my friend fucked Leonardo DiCaprio, and he wore headphones, and then I talked about it, and then everybody was like, yeah, he wears headphones when he fucks women.
I know
He's just not
multiple
even
celebrities.
there.
I know another celebrity who does that.
Which is
Yeah.
that's so crazy. So it's like
Yeah.
no one
Headphones.
says no to that motherfucker, and it's like
I
he's
wasn't even
ruined.
consider
He's
fucking
ruined.
Leonardo DiCaprio. Yuck.
He
Yeah.
wouldn't consider you.
It sucks because
Right?
maybe he wants to try on a personality instead of a
I
25-year-old
think
face.
I think they get stunted too whenever they get famous.
Sure, which is a
It's like
lesson.
it's an addiction.
Right,
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you for being here.
That was so fast. That was
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, I appreciate you.
That was awesome.
Thank you. You're
What-
a very
what
good
would you
guest.
love to plug anything? I have a thing coming out on YouTube, and
Is it a special?
no, I have a
Okay.
special in the works that's going to be out in some months. I'm not sure when, but that's an hour. But all of the stuff that is all about this. The hour coming out is all about bad woman stuff, being a bad woman, insufficient woman. But I cut off from that hour all of the stuff about like suicide, my dad dying, and it's just called the Death Junk. It's 20 minutes.
Decoration by Mike Coscarelli. Theme song by Rob Patterson and Jake Kozen.
Suck my wet ass pussy.
Krystyna said to cut that before, but now it's in there.
Yeah, let's keep it.
Welcome to Guys Be Fucked.
Anti-slut-shaming podcast. I'm Corinne.
You're horny.
Hey, you a slut?
Yes. Okay.
Let's talk about fucking.
Greetings, fuckers. How you doing? Where you been? Who you doing it with? Welcome to another episode of Guys Be Fucked.
It's the Anti-Slut-Shaming podcast, and I'm Corinne Fisher.
Krystyna Hutchinson.
Welcome to our show.
Are you going to be in Los Angeles on Saturday, May 11th
At 9:45 p.m.
at the Regent Theater?
Well, we're going to be there, so we hope that you're there too.
And we hope that you've bought a ticket so far ago,
Yes.
so long ago.
Yes, this is for a live recording of the Guys We Fuck podcast, which is the same podcast that you're already ingesting right
And
now.
you know what?
Means you like it.
If you're tired of the spiel's going to go up until we
We're
sell
going
out.
to keep doing this.
So if you want
this
us
makes
to
you
shut the
upset-
fuck up, you buy tickets.
Yeah, this is a
That's it.
threat that this will continue happening
Whatever works.
until our appearance at the Netflix is a Joke Festival is sold out. Because as we've told you time and time before, we're already on such thin ice
Netflix
with
don't like
Netflix.
us. Honestly, it feels like a pity casting.
I guess someone canceled.
Yeah. yeah, probably.
we were made aware of in a timely manner, so I don't.
Right, yeah.
So it does
everybody
feel-
had their announcements, although we didn't get our graphics until later.
But they were working on the assets. I
Yeah.
don't know why it took so long, but probably because I just kept sending them weird photos. But that's because I didn't like the ones they were picking. I didn't like the
What
ones
you
they were
do?
picking.
no one. When people pick your photos for you, especially if it's a guy, it's like, how do you think it's going to feel?
It's like they sat under you and took a picture from the perspective of your chin.
It was as if Bill Maher chose the photo.
That guy.
Oh,
we didn't promote our appearance.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe
Did
we
you want to
shouldn't.
promote it?
I mean, whatever. It's out there.
I also think we should read in the coming episodes, not an episode, but like more of those comments. It's so funny.
Yeah.
It's so funny. And I'd love to be.
Not a lot of overlap between Guys We Fucked and Bill Maher fans. Who would have thought?
What? That's crazy.
Really? Kind of crazy.
Yeah. I love being in a place where a negative on my Instagram. I won't let things go only because like I want people to be better. But like something like Bill Maher's YouTube comment section, I'm like, this is hilarious.
Well,
like,
the more comments just jog the algorithm, so I go,
yeah,
please,
yeah, keep
say
going.
whatever you want.
Keep it going.
This is great. I love it.
If you want to email us, it's sorryaboutlastnightshow@gmail.com. Today's subject line: I'm low contact with my mom, and I don't know why. Hi, Corinne and Krystyna, longtime fucker, love the show. 28-year-old female living in Australia. Hello. This email is so long, I'll get to the point. Well, it's also too long, but that's okay. I wanted to read it. I have a super complicated relationship with my mother, and it feels like it's really coming to a head now. I take in so much childhood trauma content online, which be careful about that. Look at other things. Look at cartoons or something that makes you happy that doesn't make you think about this shit. You can't think about it.
Well, and also be careful who you're taking it in from, because a lot of these
No.
people are psychos and idiots.
Yeah, they're still traumatized and haven't really done the hard work.
Yeah.
When you're working through trauma, you kind of have to go through the desert, go to the desert, die, and come back in a way. It's not necessary for every single person, but it is the most important way to get through it. I take in so much childhood trauma content online and weird mother-daughter relationship content, and I've never found someone who has the issue I'm having with my mother. I distance myself from her. I'm low contact at this point, and I feel super uncomfortable with her, but I don't have a good reason why. Well, the body keeps the score, okay? Wish it didn't, but it does. So maybe you feel unsafe for reasons that your conscious brain can't identify. I'm an only child. Mom and dad are still together and have a good relationship. They both worked full-time from when I was 6 months old. We never experienced anything super traumatic in my upbringing. My parents are very close with their respective families, and I'm the odd one out. Past life. I want to preface this by saying I remember barely any of my childhood. Okay, that is a huge red flag. So children have this kind of brilliant mechanism that they are all born with, where every child looks up to their mother and father like they're God, right? Because they're the ones responsible for your food and shelter and clothing and love and everything you need your parent has to give you. And so sometimes when the parent is abusive, the child will internalize that and go, well, there must be something I'm doing to make them like this, so that you can physically handle the fact that the person who's supposed to raise you is dangerous. A child would basically die if they really came to that realization at a young age when they got a nervous system. So keep in mind that you don't remember your childhood and you have big blackout moments. That is a sign that you gotta go to therapy. Mainly from negative things. Okay, so I want to preface this by saying I barely remember any of my childhood. Not a lot from teenagehood, mainly the negative things. So I'm working with what I can for the background. My mom and I fought quite a lot when I was a teenager, probably a normal amount for what I can compare to my female friends. We argued mostly about two main things: studying and cleaning. My mom worked hard to move up in the corporate ladder, but it took her a long time, as she didn't go to university. When she was in her 40s, she would come home from a long day of work and have to spend the evening studying to get promotions. I remember her saying she didn't want me to be doing this when I was her age. She really wanted me to get good enough grades to go to university. I had no clue what I wanted to do growing up and wasn't super academically inclined. She made more money than my dad, who worked a blue-collar job and had no interest in moving up the ladder. She was always getting on at me to study, do my homework in the evenings after school. I tried, but I was not really motivated, and oftentimes I would sit at the dining table with all my books out for hours, getting nothing done. Side note, last year I was diagnosed with ADHD, which explains so much about this and why I couldn't clean. The cleaning arguments were about me not cleaning up after myself around the house or not doing chores that were assigned to me. I was definitely hard work as a teen. I remember us having screaming matches at each other that always started with either cleaning or studying issues. This went on from around the age of 14 to 17. There were a few core arguments that are burned in my memory. I dyed my natural hair from blonde to brunette with a home dye kit when I was home alone at the age of 12 or 13. My mom had explicitly told me no every time I asked to dye my hair, and one day I just did it myself. She was so apocalyptic? Is that what's just apocalyptic? I don't know what that is. Apocalyptic. Like, I don't know many words, but I'll know that's the word APOP is.
Oh, overcome with anger.
Oh.
Indignant.
Wow. I learned a new word
Well, I'm like,
today.
it has to be a real word because it's not underlined.
Right. She was so apoplectic. Wow, love that word. She couldn't speak. She didn't speak to me for a week. That sucks. I remember thinking she must have told my dad not to speak to me either, because my dad was always pretty chill and wouldn't give a shit if I dyed my hair. And he didn't speak to me for a couple of days either. That's such yes. And it's like when a parent gives the child the silent treatment, fuck you. Okay? I hate that. The second is when I was 19, I was on vacation without them visiting family abroad when I decided to book a tattoo appointment with an artist I'd followed for ages. I knew she didn't approve of tattoos. Well, you're 19, so fuck it. So I thought I was being mature when I gave her a heads up, message about the 2-inch tattoo on the back of my ankle the night before the appointment. I woke up to an essay from her about how it was the worst thing I could do. Some highlights. Quote, "You have the ability to excel at the highest level. A lot of that is to do with your beauty." That's a weird thing to say. Another quote, "If you wanted to chop all your hair off, it would be catastrophic, but it's not permanent." Another quote, "You're perfect, just don't spoil it. Respect my wishes. People with tattoos look trashy and always regret it, etc." She also got my cousins, my grandma, my aunt, and a family friend to send me messages urging me not to do it. This is fucking psychotic. Your mom's fucking psychotic. Our moms should be friends.
This is really weird behavior.
Yeah,
just like as someone who is coming from not weird behavior,
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you this is not. I know, like when you started the email being like, I have nothing really traumatic from my.
It's always, dude.
This is insane.
It's
This
people
is
with the
insane.
worst childhoods. Almost always, they're like, my childhood was normal. I don't remember any of it, but it was.
That's why
normal."
everyone always questions mine. I go, no, but mine seriously was. I go, I don't have time, and I was like, I don't have the time to discuss this any further because this is actually crazy.
Yeah, and there's nothing like seeing your mother's behavior reflected in the eyes of your friends and loved ones around you, and then You're an extension of her.
Like that, like the tattoo and the hair, like her over obsession with your aesthetic, like that something like that would never be isolated. That would leak into every part of your relationship. There's no way it couldn't.
And let me tell you something. Like even just a overly critical parent, that chips away at your soul, and maybe logically you love them in quotes, but really your body is reacting to. So that's why when you said you're low contact and don't know why, I'm like, it's your body telling you, nah, not this bitch. The objective positive things. She worked a lot to provide financially for the family. She got me enrolled in extracurriculars. She got me tutors for the subjects I was struggling in. She got me nice things for birthdays and Christmases.
Well, she's obsessed with you being perfect. She says that to you already.
Yeah. She's objectively a very caring person, as long as you're doing everything she likes. Her family really appreciates her. She's very generous and selfless. Also note here, a lot of times, like a mother can be one way to her daughter and then be a total angel to everybody else. Okay? Sometimes that happens. In hindsight, I started feeling distance from her around age 18 and withdrawing from her relationship subconsciously. I was polite and still living at home, but I didn't go to her for advice or for a casual chat. I spent a lot of time in my room after college. This went on for years. I honestly can't remember much of our relationship at this time, but I wasn't spending loads of time at home, social life, going out, etc. I met my long-term boyfriend at age 19, so I was spending a lot of time with him too. By the time she begged me not to go to California, it must have been bad, because I remember her sobbing, saying, "I wish you knew me when I was your age." There it is. We would have been best friends.
Dude, there's something worse than the best friend. It's such a. People think it's a good thing. It's like a very bad.
It's very bad. Do you know my mom and I had best friend necklaces? I gave her. I was like 26. What? Yeah. Because I knew. Yeah, I knew it would make her happy. I didn't know, but at the time.
Did you feel like she was your best friend? Because I mean, I do feel like my mom is one of my best friends, but I would never give her best friends.
No, I did not feel she was my best friend in any way, but I was hiding it.
But like, it was when I was an adult, you know. So like, if you become best friends as adults, that's fine. But like, if any time during your adolescence you feel like your mom is your, and not in like a cutesy way, it's hard because it's like
Rory and Lorelai, like, that's toxic.
I'm on the third time around watching that series. It's actually very toxic. Yeah, they're not speaking right now. It's toxic. Yeah, it's no. When you like go to the inner depths of that show, the way I've gone, every watch I go, this is actually wildly unhealthy.
By the time I moved out of home by age 22, I would do the duty visit home every few weeks, and I always felt uncomfortable around her at that point. This is exactly, well, you're younger than me when you started experiencing this, but I was basically, my body couldn't take being around my mother, and I felt really guilty about that. And then I would start being a bitch to her, and she would be like, "Why are you being a bitch?" And she wasn't wrong. Like, I wasn't being polite, but it was because she had chipped away at my soul and my bones from day one since then, that I wouldn't allow myself to see it. So I think you're just starting to allow yourself to see these things. It was like she switched and became a different person. Now you're probably just realizing she sucked. She was overbearingly caring and helpful and affectionate. I found it needy and weird, and it made me pull away more. Yeah, that'll do that. This dynamic continued over the years, and I guess became more and more awkward because I just felt no connection to her. Because she's not coming from a place of love and actually caring about me. I felt uncomfortable with her in person and was less and less inclined to reply to her messages. I can see logically that she was working so hard to be the main financial provider for the family. She admitted in one of our 2 deep conversations that Dad wasn't a very active parent, and she felt she had to be the disciplinarian and the emotional support and everything else. I can attest to this. As I've said before, Dad was chill. Dads are always chill. And I have no problem talking to him now. Ironic.
I will step in here and say I think part of growing up is also there's usually one parent who's doing more work, and as an adult, as a kid, you don't see that. It just seems like one parent is like stressed and one parent's chill. Know that the chill parent is most likely not doing enough work in the parenting relationship, so like you do have empathy towards the parent who has had to take on the burden. Like it wasn't your fault, but like I think to have empathy and like realize that our parents are human is a very important part of growing up as well.
The mother tax is fucking awful, and one reason why I don't want to have kids. I moved from the home in the UK to Australia in 2022. She has gotten more and more needy and clingy, sending Yep. Oh, man. Why I don't speak to her. We have had 2 big conversations about our relationship in the last 4 years. All I can tell her is what I have said above, and that therapists have said she didn't meet my needs as a child. She can, don't try to make me understand.
That's all, and that also, like, just like that there is a part of me that even though I am pro therapy, saying what some therapist who's known you for like a year has to your parent who's known you for, it feels like a fucking fuck you. That's if I was a parent and some fucking, I even like, so I even had an ex-boyfriend who I knew obviously super well, and his therapist is sending him home, his therapist of like 3 weeks sending him home with shit about me. I was like, I will go and fuck your therapist up. And I said that to him. I said that to him, and actually it was so vindicated because he came back to me and he goes, yeah, that therapist actually sucks. I go, well, good. Because I said, I have a message for your therapist. Tell her to go fuck herself. And I said, literally, please tell her that. And I think maybe he did.
Fisher.
I hope he did. I said, she's unqualified. Get the fuck out of my face. Just, you know, again, put yourself, again, I'm not saying don't, but I just think that we have to really work the empathy in some ways.
Yeah, I will say when I worked with a trauma specialist therapist for a really long time. And when I was talking to her about my mother, I was still on the cusp of like, well, this wasn't traumatic. It was, she was like, your mom tried to kill herself every time you had a milestone. And I was like, yeah, but she's ill. And it's like, she still didn't paint my mother as an evil person. She wasn't even like, you should go no contact. She didn't say, tell me what to do.
Sure.
She just recognized that like it's important to me for your mother to see and hear you as a child. And it's also important to recognize the ways that she damaged you. So it's like, you know, a lot of layers here.
Well, worse, she wasn't actually even going to kill herself. She was just trying to take your spotlight away from you when you reached your milestone. She go, but I reached a milestone too. You know, that's like a boyfriend who starts a fight on like an important night of your life.
Yeah, totally.
That's that same behavior. It's oh, this is too much about you. Back to me.
Yep, dude. Yep.
Obnoxious.
She takes accountability for being so volatile with me as a teen about how controlling she was. Well, that's really nice that she took accountability. She truly apologizes and doesn't try to deflect or deny how I feel about things. That's fantastic. She and I both understand how those seemingly minor things have caused me to feel so uncomfortable around her. Most people just suck it up and speak to their parents. My, quote, trauma is not even anything compared to actual abuse or neglect or manipulation. It doesn't matter comparing traumas. Yes, we can objectively say that, you know, getting raped as a child is worse than your mom being bipolar. On paper, sure. But it could also actually affect a person a similar way. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's pain. You were going through pain from an abusive parent. Yes, there are rumors, but I don't understand why I have such a visceral reaction to her. I've tried to suck it up and call her / see her so many times, but after a couple of minutes, I feel so withdrawn into myself. I just want it over and can barely speak. Speak of a little girl. I feel I'm unfortunately a lot like her in my relationship with my partner too, controlling and anxiously attached. These are things that's great to be aware of that because these are things that can absolutely be worked on. So it's not a death sentence. I'm open to hypnotherapy to see if something truly traumatic happened that I just don't remember. But I honestly can't see that being the case. If you don't remember years of your childhood, I think that's okay. Something's there.
But also, before we get to hypnotherapy, to me, the first thing that I'm saying is, like, can you go to couples therapy with your mom? Like, if she's at least acknowledging it, like, and she, you know, it seems like she's like being semi-receptive.
Right.
Why not go to Zoom therapy together, like the way you went to couples therapy? Like, to me, it's like any relationship that you want to work on. If the other person will show up with you, why not?
Yeah, and Zoom's a great idea because then you don't have to be in the same room with her.
Well, they have to live in different countries anyway. But yeah.
Oh, right, because you can.
But yeah, like, I mean, and at least, you know, because it seems like you're not ready to like completely give up. And like you know, for me with like, you know, relationships, I'm like, just leave immediately. But like, this is the only mom, so like, I would say I would try a little harder with this one before I decide not to talk to them. And if ultimately that's the best decision for you, that's the best decision for you. But like, yeah, why not go to fucking whatever they call mom-daughter therapy? I mean, don't call it couples therapy. That's a whole another therapy session. But
Yeah, well, it's family counseling.
There you go, family counseling.
If it's truly just what I explained in this email, how can I tell her that although she did everything she could, it wasn't enough? How can I tell her that my body fills with anxiety when I see a message from her? How am I managing life just fine without her?
Well, I mean, that's because you're an adult.
Yeah.
I mean, the part where you said, like, you know, you get older and you stopped asking her for advice, I mean, that's just normal becoming an
was so, and I was still confused. I'm like, what is wrong with me? How any sort of relationship feels awkward, forced, unnatural, and how every interaction is just painfully uncomfortable. I can only bear to message her maybe once every month or two. She's calling me every day, even though I asked her if we could only have a monthly message back and forth to update each other on what's going on in our lives.
She has no boundaries.
She doesn't fucking respect your boundaries, and that's it's not enough for her. She wants more. I avoid seeing messages from her, avoid talking to her, avoid even my lovely grandma and dad's messages because the whole family is so stuck on why I won't speak to her, and I know they will ask about it. Yeah, I have a very small family, but I don't talk to some of them because of that. I don't know if I even want a relationship with her. You don't, because I can manage my life just fine without her, and contact with her is so painful. If I do decide to spend thousands of dollars on therapy just to be able to have contact with her, it wouldn't be for my benefit, it would be for hers. I'm glad you said that. Any insight would be appreciated. Love, a loyal fucker.
I don't think it would be thousands of dollars. Like, I'll just financially. It depends. I mean, like, do you have insurance? You know,
Right.
Again, like if you already made the decision, you've already made the decision.
Yeah, and I do agree with Corinne. I think it's and as someone who's not, I go no contact with both of my parents. I think that I had to do everything for me personally. I had, like, the last time I saw her, I went down to their place, technically mine too, because I own half of it. That's where all my money is. Where I try to have a conversation, and I told myself, I prepped myself very, very, very intensely that I wanted to be calm, I wanted to be kind, I wanted to listen, and I wanted to speak with integrity and not stray from my own morals and values. Meaning, I didn't want to act like a bitch. I didn't want to yell. I made a rule with I made many rules with myself. I stuck to all those rules. I drove home, scream crying the whole way. It just wasn't. It wasn't. Her head was so up her own ass of how can I be a terrible mother? She just needed me to validate that she was a good mom. And it's like, well, you weren't. You tried your best. You absolutely tried your best, and I really appreciate that. Sometimes people's best suck, and the thing that really breaks my heart is you can still do a really shitty job as a parent, but if you own up to it and you say, I fucked up, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I hope you can forgive me. There's no hope. So your mom seems to have times where she's recognizing her bad, but I will say this, and my mom did this to me, it could be a fucking trap, because she says I'm sorry, and then you go, okay, I will have a conversation.
That's why I think a mediator should be there in a therapist.
Yeah.
Because I agree with you. Like, yeah, but that I agree with that. That's the same thing that I saw as like this like little morsel of hope was the fact that she did acknowledge that she was not a good parent, and she apologized for it. She like held space for her daughter, and
That's huge. That's absolutely huge. But yeah, I've heard enough. I've read enough about healthy interactions of parent and child where I'm like, wait, is this what parents are supposed to do? God damn. And I think it's a big, huge blinking red light that your body doesn't want anything to do with her. To me, that's
Yeah, I guess my only hesitation is it just seems like it's become more and more popular to like not talk to your parents to the point where it's like I feel like
Really?
Yeah,
I
for
don't
sure.
know anybody.
It's like when she talks about the online space, like it's really common. You'll see influencers all the time talking about it, right? And so, not that it's like never. Of course, sometimes it's like the best solution, but I feel like in modern society, we've and I think a lot of it is because of politics. We have like younger generations have been taught or trained or like given the okay that when like a relationship isn't going well, just to detach, and like even when there's this notion of like if you don't agree with your family's politics, don't show up to Thanksgiving or Christmas, and like I just don't think that's the way to go about life. To just because to me that's like this, and excuse the term, but that's the snowflake approach to only being around people who share the same values and opinions as you. And I mean, you guys fucking know I have a whole show about doing literally not that. And so I'm on the extreme side of it, but I just like it's you have to take giving up a singular relationship in your life. Like this is the only mom you'll ever have, right? So like just take that seriously.
Yeah.
That's all that is. And I think you are, but I would give it a little bit like more thought, especially because at the beginning when you said like I've been taking in a lot of online content, maybe stop that.
Yeah, and I think that I also think that I feel really, 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 really good every every single day about my decision to not talk to my parents. But one of the reasons why I feel so good about it is because I did everything that I could to see if there was any hope of mending. I suggested therapy. She didn't want to do it. I came down to travel to them to explain myself calmly and confidently, and I got the same things back. And I got the no recognition, and I'm like, okay, all right. And then, you know, by the time your mom says, well, if I kill myself, it's your fault, and you're like, that's a wrap on you, Nance. That's a wrap on you. So it is helpful to like do the best that you can, and then you'll feel much more secure in your decision. If you don't want to cut, if you want to cut contact, you'll feel like, yep, that is absolutely the right choice.
Sounds like she's kind of very fear-based. The mom is a very fear-based sense of life.
Sure.
Just the controlling, don't be in the position I was in. I just kind of had a similar relationship with my dad for a few years in high school. And like kind of like
What would he do?
It was like very much so like the conversation revolved around like you're never gonna make money, all that type of stuff. And then honestly, like how I like got past that, it's like we have a great relationship now. It's like I just started like trolling him, and like every
Your
time.
methods are very interesting, Eric.
But like every time he would try to like take the conversation in that direction, I would just kind of like point out like how silly he's being. And,
Silly goose.
Yeah, exactly. And it definitely helped as far as like it's like you realize this is so ridiculous for you to be saying this to me as like an adult, and then that quickly. I also like started making more money than that.
Yeah, parents are like, and I know it's coming from a place of protection, but like even my parents were like this, like overly obsessed with like, oh no, you're never gonna make money, and I go, listen, I know you're not inside my wild mind, but I'm like, listen, I'm Corinne Fisher. I get what needs to be done. I handle it all. So just everyone fucking relax. Yeah, I've been like this the whole goddamn time. Like it's just stop.
Yeah, I mean,
whatever's gonna happen.
Parents are gonna worry about you, and of course they're gonna be control freaks because they probably don't want you to be hurt like they've been hurt. But it's like, yeah, I agree with Eric in that like your mother's definitely coming from a place of absolute fear. It's driving her every reaction with you. But the not respecting the boundaries, the thing like to me, I'm like, was she? I don't know what her relationship was like with her mother. Something there, you know. We had my mom when we had my mom on the podcast years and years and years ago. She told us that she was sexually assaulted when she was 11.
Sure.
And that made me go, oh, that's why you left the restaurant when I was 16 after asking if I was a virgin, and I didn't want to lie to you, so I said, no, I'm not a virgin, and you just fucking left and abandoned me and didn't talk to me for 2 weeks. It's not cool, but now I have some understanding as to why that happened. You just didn't want me being a sexual person. You were fearing that I was going to get assaulted, and that you were reacting to the idea of your daughter being sexually assaulted. And that, of course, no reaction is going to be good when that's the place it's coming from. So yes, your mom is operating out of fear, but it's also her responsibility to get to the bottom of it.
Yeah. And I mean, just in general, I've been thinking about this concept a lot. Like embarking on parenthood in general means you're basically setting yourself up to be a failure, right?
Yeah.
Because even if you overall your child has a good experience, like there's going to be a way in which you fail that child. And like, I mean, that's kind of on my long list of disinterest in having a child. It's like, why would I just start a project that I know in some way I'm going to fail at? This doesn't sound good at all. This sounds terrible. I'm going to create someone and go through like all this pain and like physical trauma so that someone can be paying someone every week to talk about a way in which I failed them. I'm good. No, thank you. I'm good.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's good luck. You're going to figure it out. Okay. Guys, after you come see us on May 11th, well, this is before May 11th, if you're in Springfield, Missouri, raise the roof and come see me headlining the Blue Room at March 22nd and March 23rd. You can sign up for my Patreon. There's a $22 level for that once a week. You can get on a Zoom with me. We'll all chat about our problems. And I really love these Zooms. I love them so much. I love hearing about other people's issues. I love that it's a group of strangers that cut all the small talk and just get right to it. I really appreciate that. I hate small talk because it makes me cringe. and it makes me feel more connected to humanity. I really like those Zooms. So you can sign up for that. There's also a $5 a month level where you can just listen to the audio from those Zooms. And my other podcast, it's a solo podcast called The Voices in Our Heads. I'm doing a deep dive into R.J. Spina's supercharged self-healing. I'm reading a couple pages every podcast episode in each chapter, and I'm continuing those readings on the Patreon so that you can listen to both day up if you want. $5 a month. It's patreon.com/Krystyna Hutchinson.
And then the Eye of the Tiger tour, my tour for 2024, has officially been announced. If you didn't already hear, Chloe LeBranch will be featuring on all of these dates. We kind of did the last trial gig in Washington, D.C., and it was so fun. It went swimmingly. So here, get a pen, get a piece of paper, write this in your iPhone, pull the car over. You're going to want to be at these cities. A lot of these are one-nighters, so buy these tickets sooner rather than later, because most of them, I'm not adding anything because I got to be somewhere the next day, all right? Tampa, Florida, April 17th. Miami, April 18th. Atlanta, April 19th and 20th. Columbus, Ohio, April 25th. Raleigh, North Carolina, April 30th. Philadelphia, May 1st. Boston, May 2nd. Portland, Oregon, May 14th. San Francisco, May 15th. Sacramento, May 16th. Seattle, May 17th. Houston, Texas, June 27th. Austin, Texas, June 28th and 29th, and Salt Lake City, Utah, September 26th. Tickets available at CorinneFisher.com. And also, if you're right now on Instagram, you can just go to the Linktree link in my bio. My handle is Philanthropy Gal. And of course, you can listen to my weekly news and politics podcast, where we try to find more similarities than differences between the right and the left. And that is called Without a Country. Every Wednesday night, those episodes drop on YouTube and everywhere you listen to podcasts. It's extremely fun. You know, check out my Katie Britt response to the response. It's been pretty fun.
Eric, are you going on the road?
Yeah, I am.
You are?
As
Where?
a matter of fact, I'm going to Edmonton,
What?
Vancouver, Plano, Phoenix, and Minneapolis this summer. So come get the tickets. I have links in my bio on Instagram.
I feel like if you left that as a voice message, it would say in parentheses on Apple, low confidence.
I feel like I give that vibe off a lot, and it's just because I'm
Tired.
a lazy talker.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you're overworked. You're tired. We'll give that to you.
I'm not even tired. I got a bunch of sleep last night.
A bunch.
I slept on the plane, and then I slept all night. Yeah.
But you're over 6 feet tall. How good can your plane sleep be? Pretty good?
It was great yesterday.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, I'm proud of you.
I didn't sleep the night before, and then I had 40 milligrams of edibles, and I had a 6-hour.
Okay,
Is that a
nuts to talk
lie?
about this. Yeah.
Oh,
40 milligrams?
What's a normal amount?
10.
Oh, Eric.
10 to 20 maybe.
Eric Downey Jr.
I
over
would
there.
do like a 5 milligram, and I smoke weed every day.
Oh.
Edibles. Everybody's different with edibles, though.
Whoa.
And you're a tall guy, I guess. So, but 40.
Whoa.
That's wild. But hey, it affects people differently.
Whatever you do, you do. All right.
Before we get to our guest, I have like a sex tip.
Okay.
Because now I'm fucking all the time because I'm a huge dirty whore. No, something that I realized, I'm like, what a simple thing to do that like really puts you in the moment. Just fuck a little slower. Like just like really slow.
This is because you're in love. If you're not in love, do not do this. I will call the police.
No, but meaning like, okay, so if he's on the bottom and I'm on top, which
Yeah.
is my favorite position.
Yeah, it's good.
If you go really slow, oh my God, it's so much hotter. It feels so much better. It's wild. Never thought to do it.
Really?
I was always like,
you never thought to do it?
Like really slow? It's like teasing yourself with a dick. It's fucking.
Yeah, no. Great if you love the person. Horrifying if it's casual sex.
Oh yeah.
Bone chilling. Yeah, it's been done to me.
Ew. Yeah, I guess there's no connection.
Oh,
don't do that.
I'm having a flashback.
Sorry. If you're in a relationship, let's just say that for relationship sex tips, just going really slow. It's crazy how it makes a huge difference. It's a totally different type of sex. Totally different type of sex.
Like a connection.
Yeah, but even more than it just physically feels good. It's just so much hotter. I couldn't believe I've been doing this all the time.
Well, could that be under the umbrella of tantric? Just because
I guess so. I've been wanting to get into that because I'm very curious.
It just seems like who has the time?
I know.
Sting was doing it because he was already famous.
Yeah, he had time. He had his assistants to all the shit.
Right. You could have
He's gotta
tantric
clip up
sex
himself.
when you have an assistant.
Yeah, he's got to watch himself clips. But yes,
You're thinking of Slash, and I knew he was thinking. I go,
Jesus
this
Christ.
fucking young gun over here is thinking of Slash. Not even at all similar.
Fields of Gold?
Who's Sting, the lead
What
singer of
the
the Police? Eric, get out of the studio.
Roxanne.
Oh.
You know that? He goes, yeah, my mom used to do it.
My Nana.
Oh, when he went through his cool boy phase. I'm glad you're out of that.
Shirts, too.
M shirts?
Well, speaking
This
of
is selling acid to me.
selling acid, yeah, just narc yourself.
Oh,
That was a joke, everyone. Haha, we're all comedians.
How much did it cost?
$10.
That's cheap. Is that
For
expensive?
one tab? Oh. Is that a good price?
I don't know.
I've always gotten mine for free because I don't take it from it. I won't get it from it unless I like know the person.
Yeah, and they've actively done that kind of process.
Yeah, but like they're kind of like making it themselves.
Still never really done it. I have this spray, and I tried it, like a little microdose, but
Acid, I acid again, amazing, but like just very time consuming. Who has 12 hours?
I don't like that part. That's why I barely like. I don't.
Because you're stuck. in it.
I was supposed to get these nails fixed days ago, and I'm like, I told them to sit still. I can't. Sorry. This is gonna be like this. Yeah. But yet I want to do
podcast.
Huh?
Why don't you listen to a podcast when you're almost done?
Feels rude.
Taking acid.
Everyone does it. They don't want to talk to you. They want
I
to
guess
talk shit
not.
about you, and they like when your headphones are in.
Oh yes.
So they can be like,
Because
look
every
at
time
this
I was-
fucking girl with the mustache or whatever. We're like your old, they're like your old joke.
Yeah,
Christina
but-
doesn't have a mustache, everyone.
I do. Yeah, when I see other girls there on their headphones, like they're talking to somebody on
No,
the
they're
phone.
talking on a phone. They should be executed. But that's
When they're talking and it's on speaker,
No, that's-
I'll just look at the
Death
bitch
penalty.
next to me in the
Death
nail
penalty.
chair,
Yeah.
talking on speaker, and I'm like, how do you sleep at night?
No, that's crazy.
How do you fucking sleep at night? If your house was being robbed, would you be aware of it?
Yeah.
Because you are so not self-aware.
No, that's crazy. But like,
Ugh.
I mean, because it's like when you have your headphones out,
It's rude.
you're not having an ongoing conversation with these women, are you?
No, but I'm just trying to be present with them, and I don't know. I just
You
don't
can
wanna be rude.
you can still, I think, be present and have headphones in. I mean, like, you know, like if they give you like a cup of water, like after
Yeah.
they give you the little back massage, go back, you know, thank you.
Yeah.
You know, yeah. They don't want to have a conversation with you. I don't think they yeah.
No, I mean,
They like to
nor do
compliment
they
the
try.
color. They like to say, "Oh, the
Wow,
color
that
looks
is a nice color.
Yeah,
You like that color? Yeah. Yeah, me too.
yeah.
See ya.
That's it. That's
Yeah.
all that we need to do.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah. You know who else is fun?
Today's guests.
Both of them.
Yes.
One of them is a, dare I say, legendary stand-up comedian, and my title for him is Filthy Gentleman, and his beautiful, lovely wife.
Who could be a stand-up comedian?
Yes.
So funny.
She's very funny. And you could track their adventures in love and marriage on YouTube.
Yes.
Oh, Tim, so happy for you guys.
I think everyone in comedy is so
Jim
happy
and
for you.
Nikki Norton.
Norton.
All of a sudden, it was like Jim's married.
He's smiling.
And like you guys are everywhere, and your love emanates from the videos that I've seen, and it makes me very happy. I'm sure you've talked about this already, but I'm curious how you guys do.
It was an online relationship for like almost a year.
Oh, a year. So
Yeah.
you courted for a year.
7 months because we're gonna have her come visit. And we've been FaceTiming every day, but they wouldn't let her in because of a minor lot charge. So we wound up just becoming like FaceTiming every day, and I booked gigs in Oslo.
Oh, you're from Oslo.
She's from Norway. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's why your skin is perfect.
Well, I'm very pale, I feel.
I love it. It's just, it's best.
Thanks so much. I used to do spray tans, but now I'm going to try to go pale.
Hale's a great Hale's
Yeah.
Hale's a great. So you were FaceTiming from, and you were in Oslo, so you were FaceTiming for about a year.
Every day, you know. For 7 months, I booked gigs. We met for the first time, and then she came to Amsterdam for 2 days. But I knew I really like her in person.
But a year of teasing, like that's got to be by the time you finally were face to face. Did you just explode? Did your balls explode? Like
Many times.
Yeah, we were asking. But not like, no, I think we went to eat first. Because I didn't want to just be like,
He's the first man who ever took me on a date. It's very special to me. And Jim is a great man.
yeah, we went to, what were we, lunch or something? Went to a
He
dinner.
took me to a steak dinner. That
Yeah.
was the first time I was ever on a date. Felt
First
really
time ever?
special. First time ever in my life. I was, 19?
Yeah.
When we first met.
right after that 18 mark. Good on
Oh,
you.
yeah,
Get
yeah.
in there
I'm like,
at
bring
the
your birth
right age.
certificate.
Yeah.
Forget condoms.
Well, young women, we were just had a good conversation with our earlier interview. When you're 14, 15, 16, you I hear it, oh my god, all the time. And it's like, yeah. Yeah.
Do you like that? Are you into older men?
I love mature men.
Mature is a great way to put it.
Very gentle.
Well, I've described him, we've had him on the podcast before, as like a filthy gentleman, which I think is like the perfect line for a man. Like, it's just, it's a great, the world is your oyster. You can go anywhere.
Yeah.
I love being Jim's wife. It's fabulous.
It's weird to be married. Like, you real like the
Did
day.
you ever think that he would get married?
No.
No, I didn't.
I just didn't think you
Do
were
you think
interested
he
in
seems
it.
like the man who would get married?
Well, I mean, when you say he's a great man, like that to me is not surprising at all. I think because of your comedy, a lot of people would think that you are a certain way, but like you can be kinky and sexually explorative and a good human being. And like I remember like years ago when we interviewed you for the first time, I was like, oh, this is like a really good person.
Yeah.
So that doesn't surprise me that someone would want to marry him. But I guess like it seems like you need like being free sexually, I guess. So
It's
but marriage is not that
It,
necessarily.
no, I mean, and we're monogamous. Like, it's weird.
Yeah.
Like, I've been such a shit boyfriend, but I don't want a new relationship. I couldn't do it. I'm 55. I can't.
And Jim was also, point of his life where he was ready to settle. I think he was looking for a partner, and I think that we were a way better match than either of us were.
But I didn't even know if I was looking for somebody. Like, I remember looking, and we were talking one time. I'm like, I'm gonna marry her. Like, well, I was like, I'm gonna marry her. Like,
Really?
I said it to myself before we met, but then I'm like, you don't really meet if you don't have chemistry, or you don't like each other.
And you can't tell, you're like, am I being nuts here or not? Because like every time, yeah. Have you ever said that before?
Oh, yeah.
Because I said it before, and the guy, I look back at the guy, I'm like, ugh.
Yeah, love bombing. When I was like being dirty and love bombing,
That's not what happened to us, because when I first saw him in the elevator, I was like, I thought he would have maybe like a small dick, like, But then he really charmed me on, and I really did fall in love. After that dinner, I really catched on with him.
yeah, it was hard to determine beforehand how much of this was just lust and how much of it. Because until you meet, you have no idea. what it's gonna
Also,
be.
we used to live my whole life behind closed doors. Like, I was never out in public with another man ever.
Really? Why?
No, because I'm transgender. So
Yeah.
for me, and especially being in my hometown, not in New York, like America.
Right, in New York,
It's,
we accept whatever your thing is.
I
come
love
here.
it in New York. Being home in New York is so much different. So,
How is it?
well, for me, I feel like it's hard because I'm from a village. So there's cows and there's mooing. There's not so many trans people.
Yeah.
So when you're trans there, everyone knows each other. I just don't feel that accepted in my hometown. That's just what it is. People look at me, stare at me,
Like you're like it feels like you're a trans person, not Nikki. Like
just not with respect.
right. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, it's too different there. Like, and a lot of guys are afraid to go out in public. They don't want to be seen. Like,
Sure.
It's like, yeah,
But
we
they're
want
very
to take
blunt
order
people,
dinner.
so they will let you know by just looking
So
at
how
you.
is, I don't know how, like, what's the vibe of the people here? Like, not very accepting of,
I guess they're pretty liberal people. I just feel like being very liberal is the problem.
yeah.
And maybe it's because I'm Norwegian and I look so Norwegian and they can tell, oh, this is something else. They're just a Norwegian girl.
Yeah, they.
Right, there's something else
So,
under there.
yes,
Yeah.
I'm the
Something substantial.
of a presence. Yes.
Yeah, but they're not as they're nice people, but they're also very
No, I love my
stoic.
country very much.
They're very to the point, very direct, and it just seems kind of rude sometimes. But I
Yeah.
think that's just a direct. Like, probably the Russians are like that. I'm sure.
Yeah.
You know, just blather out. Like the whole country's on the spectrum.
That's a great way to put it. That's a great way to put it. Nikki, how are your parents, like, with Jim? Like, have you
My
met?
parents love me so much. They're great parents. My mom and my dad are so accepting. They love Jim. They've met Jim on Christmas. We spent 2 Christmases together.
Aw,
That's our real family. They're normal.
That's
Yeah,
question, and it's like how everybody should behave, but you also have these extreme like desires that you like, and you're like, that's really fine with yourself.
Yeah.
Which I wish more people would be. But I'm interested, Nikki, so with the transgender movement in America, like we talk about it a lot, like trans women of color are very likely to get murdered, and it's so in the forefront of trans people's identity, but it's like there's so much more than that. So my question is like beyond transgender, like who, like what do you like? What are you? Who are you?
I like to have fun. Is the thing. Basically, hang out with honest. Have fun would be first.
Yeah.
That would be have fun.
And creative.
Do you go with Jim on the road?
Yeah. Is that your preference or Jim's preference? You just don't. You don't need to go to Indianapolis.
She's coming to Austin with me because I'll be there for a few days. Like then after that, I'm going to Oklahoma, Houston, Dallas one night each. It's like you don't need to be.
I just don't do it. I would rather
It gives you space too. Like I didn't live with anybody. The first time I lived with any woman in my life ever was her in the pandemic. I ran to Montreal and lived in a one-bedroom for 15 months. I lived in the U.S. No one knew I was gone. I had no idea how we got here. The border was closed. I couldn't have left. So I stayed with her for 15 months. I ended up living in Montreal. That's the first time.
Yeah, sometimes you don't know. You could get along so swimmingly, have sex, and then when you move in, they start doing shit that you're like, oh, like that.
And this was
Yeah.
during COVID, and Canada was like,
We did very well, especially considering it being at Montreal was really panicky. We did a little day trip, like a weekend trip to Toronto to stay in a nice hotel because the rooms were so cheap. To that city, just things to keep us busy. But that was my first time living in somewhere. And the embassy was closed. The DC was on hold. So I put up in Montreal for the work, so I could see it every weekend in Montreal.
Yeah, what's with this bond thing? Like, it's so small. It's, you guys can just all graduate past the class.
basically a ticket to
And that's what's not effective.
But it also feels like it's just an excuse to like stop people from energy activity.
Yeah.
They're just like doing some things to control.
It's
the
1950s. Sorry, yeah, 1950s pot. It was a long time. I was driving to Montreal, do radio, finish up Thursday, jump in my car, see her Friday, Saturday in Montreal. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, drive back Sunday, radio, on the road the next week, we was there, drive back up. It just became my life.
And what was the conversation like from you being, kind of really private about this to then fully having like a reality show on?
We were private only because there's two reasons. One,
Yeah.
we wanted to make sure that we got along as a couple. Sure. And we didn't want it to be shtick, and I didn't want to adjudicate this whole thing publicly. Like, I have a big mouth, and immigration is so frustrating that I would have, fans would have got sick of hearing.
And then eventually we have to open our personal life before we go on the fucking thing. Apparently,
Yeah.
then we wouldn't have a life in the first place.
Yeah.
So that wouldn't make any sense.
I didn't know what I was going to do. She didn't get in, so there was just nothing beyond that.
But I
Like,
love
couldn't
those
see
people,
beyond
but
that.
I would be happy to live with Jen completely privately. I would be completely happy.
Yeah.
That would be
It would be hard for me because I'm so public with my life, and it was so hard not talking about it.
It's nice to have your listeners and fans who love you and care about you and invest in your life to like be along for the ride too.
Yeah.
To share that with people that deserve to hear it, really.
Everyone thinks they're like, oh, she's trying to be this rising star. She's trying to have fun on Instagram. And then choose to watch sometimes. And it's fun. It's fun.
No, I think it's clear because I think comedians. We're all like protective of Jim, so there was this kind of initial gaze, like, what's going on here? But it was like very clear, very quickly that you are actually in love.
There are people who think, oh, she's using. Like, I get it. I understand how people see it, and even when we interact online.
Yeah.
But she's funny and she's mean with her jokes.
That's
and
perfect
exactly
for you.
what I
Sometimes
mean.
it's just
Yeah.
trying to be funny too on the podcast. And I'll make a dick joke. His mouth, open.
Yeah.
And I'm just trying to be funny.
When people see like two people in love, they're like, "What's the cat?" Like everybody's so eager to be like, "No, it's fucked up somewhere." Especially the people that have not had a healthy relationship. I'm curious, Jim. What have you learned about yourself since courting Nikki and being
So, like this, I'm very happy with Nikki. I don't, like everyone was like, wow, if I went out and cheated, like, but I really haven't. Like, it's crazy that I haven't, because I cheated on everybody else in my life.
Oh, right,
She's
right.
the first one I've ever been, because I know that once I do it, I can't tell myself I'm never done.
Right.
But I'm just ready to, and I love you. It's not worth it. It's just
It's
not
a
worth it.
combination of a lot of factors. Who you are, Nikki, and then this state in your life that you provide.
Yeah.
Never thought about that's how I feel like fought for this life.
Yeah, I had to fight for it. I had to wait for it. I had to fight for it. I had to fly to Norway. I mean, we've been to
Lawyers.
3 different lawyers.
Jeez.
But I feel like the successful person in you like probably likes that. Like that makes it feel like you earned it.
Yes, I know it was not impulsive.
And you had to interrogate yourself along the way. Like, I still want to be here, right? I still want to be here, right?
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah, it was almost like if I was going to bail out. Like now that things, even when things are hard here, this is easy. Like nothing will ever be as hard as that 5-year process.
Yeah.
Waiting for the embassy to open, her getting rejected 5 times. She 5
Waiting
times the
like
embassy said
9
no.
months for the appointment, and then
Jesus
another
Christ.
9 months for the other.
It's like they're trying to make you
Oh,
psychotic
God.
and have a breakdown.
Yeah, it's really you got like a real immigration education. Like you learn everything about it, and like I have empathy for people.
You almost become a lawyer.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
She actually found stuff. She found something that the other lawyers didn't
Our
find.
second lawyer told us, look, she has a drug conviction. She'll never get in
For hash.
on immigration purposes for hashish, because that's what she's smoking. But then I found a little officer's handbook online, and it said the only drug conviction you can get into the States with is 15 grams or less of marijuana.
Oh.
But they're like the lawyer goes, that's not hashish, but it's cannabis.
Right.
So she found the thing that said it's like less. It's like 30 grams of pot or 6 grams of hash. It's 5 to 1.
Oh.
So then the whole thing was how do you prove that her ticket was for less than 6? It's fucking.
Wow.
But we did it by the book. I mean, when you do things by the
Wow.
book, the government uses the mail. Like everything is slow. It's the post office. You
And
deal
I'm so
with the
happy
post
to be
office.
in New York. I love
bet
New
you guys
York.
are probably like
New York
just-
is the most liberating place I have ever walked. The streets here,
Yep.
no one gives a fuck. I've never had one person tell me anything
Yeah.
about New York ever.
Yeah.
It's
I
fabulous.
feel like if anything, like there's been very few times that I've witnessed a guy like say something like witness bigotry, and it's like everybody around us is like, "What the fuck did you just say?" Like we all protect each other in a way.
Yes, I
Yeah.
feel like a different breed here than I do in Norway. When I'm
Nice.
in Norway, it's a lot more groggy and very direct. And here, you just shoot for some reason.
Yeah, be weird.
We just love hot people here. If you're
Hot,
hot,
yeah, you're
doesn't
hot.
matter.
Thank
Yeah.
you, sexy bitch.
Yeah.
All of us are sexy bitches.
Yeah, or those that aren't hot, just be funny.
Yeah.
Like tap dance.
You got a hot. You
Well,
got
you're
a white.
Jim Norton. You don't gotta be anything other than
Yeah.
Jim Norton.
Yeah, just a disaster, but just be funny. As long as you have something to bring.
Have you ever dated a
think you're a
woman
disaster.
that's like arm candy like Nikki? Like she's fucking tall, model, fucking.
I've done my ex-girlfriend, and this is what a fucking dope I am. Her and my ex-girlfriend are very close.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm friends with every one of my exes except one. And
Interesting.
Well, they're
That's
both
a good sign.
way more attractive than I am. Like I've always batted out of my league, I guess. Because
Sure.
again, being funny, you know.
You're so valuable.
You made up
for
for it.
men only.
Yes.
Yes, you're right. It does, but it gets you in the door. And then you have
Yeah.
to. But Jen, I love, is a fucking ferocious kind of really perceptive person who always takes her side. It's so irritating when I introduce these two. We'll be fighting, and she calls
Now
my
we're besties.
ex-girlfriend.
Sucks.
That is great.
She's
A great
always
tactic.
right, and I'm right too. If we argue, and
Right.
she'll let me know that that's really true. It's
Yeah,
right.
fucking Jim. Yeah, I hear it. I'm like, so, but I like that she's someone to talk to who I respect.
Yeah, yeah.
I respect my ex.
And
She's
who knows
smart.
you well?
How long were you together?
I think it was like 2008, 2011. We broke up
Nice.
many years ago, but about
Yeah.
3 years ago. It was a long friend. Yeah, she's one of my closest friends.
That's nice.
Yeah. Yeah, she's big. JK Ultra. I'll plug her on TikTok. She's got 500,000 TikTok followers.
good for her.
She's really interesting, and
Yeah.
she's got this great fucking brain.
So she loves UFOs. You should have her on your
Oh, wait, she loves UFOs?
Yeah, so Nikki just said
she knows everything
Oh, I
about
missed
the
that.
aliens. And
Okay, I gotta have. I'm
very
obsessed with
conspiracy.
aliens.
Oh.
Obsessed. I want to get abducted so bad. I have a new show called Wait What about aliens. Like
Really?
Just the there's so much. The evidence that's out there that is provable is wild. So I'm like, guys, why aren't we talking about this? Have you seen it? No, I want to so bad. I would. That's all I would ever talk about if I did.
That's why she hasn't.
I also
for the
think
aliens.
a lot of the sightings in the United States started happening in the 50s when the atomic bombs were being built, and I have this theory from all of the literature I've read that aliens could actually save us from ourselves. So I think they're very peaceful beings. not the time, Jim.
But I know. And
I'm with hormones. I'm transgender.
I know. I've heard this with tears coming down. Jim, I'm your
She's
wife.
had enough struggle, Jim. Give her a fucking break.
Already enough with what I'm doing.
But I get very cold when I argue. Like even if
That would make me cry.
Yeah, but
that
if
would
I'm
make
like,
me cry.
like I know you're my wife. Like I'm not. We're not debating that.
He'll just look at his computer screen and he'll try to lecture me too sometimes. This is true.
Yeah.
I imagine too, like the age difference.
Yeah, how
old are
can you
Nikki?
That's the hardest part
Well,
of
I
the
was just
relationship.
going to say
you're
that
different.
I wouldn't work out with him if I didn't have daddy issues. I do have daddy issues.
Thank God. Yeah. Every
Yeah.
But
girl
I
I've ever
love my
dated has.
father. He's the closest, one of the closest.
And he's the most accepting.
What's the daddy issue then?
Well, he wasn't in my life when I was younger. So
Oh, okay.
naturally,
So the
I
absence
think that would, that would give anyone daddy issues.
Right.
Had to
To have
conquer
like a
the world
stable male
alone.
figure.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so the age gap, and then also I think like you mentioned as a joke, like you're transgender, you have hormones, but for real, like how like so you're actively taking hormones still, and like how does that affect
I've
your
been on
mood?
the same dosage for like 11 years.
Okay. And what was when you started taking them? Did you notice a change in your mood?
Yes. My boobs were very painful. One time
Yeah.
in Norway in my room, the edge of the door I accidentally hit it when I was like a few months on it.
A tender boob.
Terrible.
A
Yeah.
tender boob is not anything
Terrible.
to
It was
fuck
worse
with.
than your toe times 10.
Oh my
Yeah,
goodness.
yeah, yeah.
Very, very terrible.
How old were you when you were like, oh, I'm the wrong gender? Like, the gender I'm born in is not the one I want
I
to be.
always walked like this when I was like little, Then when I was like 12, 11 maybe, there, like for real anyway, but I don't have a hair. I would rather kill myself than
Oh.
really sincere.
Yeah.
So that's how I knew that I had some sort of form of dysphoria, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And you voiced that to your parents?
Yes, and then she took me to a psychologist, and then in Norway, they wrote just any doctor won't do this.
Yeah.
You have to go to the national hospital.
Oh,
So
okay.
I did that, and it was like, I felt that it was fine.
That's good.
A lot of therapists and psychologists, and like,
It's a diagnosis. Like there's like
it's an actual diagnosis.
Yeah, yeah. That's great. So it seems like, well, maybe the population is sort of fucking judgy and bigotry in that respect. The government makes it so that if you want to transition, you can.
But it's not like I'm just putting on this dress and we're having fun. I literally, if I was a man and had to live life as a man, I would go for it.
Right. And that's the whole thing. It's like,
as a woman in a video game.
right. And it's like, what kind of fucking life is that? Like, people can't understand, like, what, like, the transgender issue in America gets conflated, I think, with the news. They give you the headline that's gonna piss off the conservative parents the most. And it's like, guys, come on, stop jerking off that one dick of this issue. It's like, if you are born feeling like something isn't right, you have every right to address that and make it right for yourself.
And then you get guys like that teacher in Canada, who I thought was clearly fetish. Like the guy who was a woodshop teacher, and then he just showed up for work with these giant fake tits.
That was
and
wait, I didn't know about that.
Yeah, he looked like Mickey D in Motorhead, like these giant breasts.
Danny Polish Chuck, the comedian, he was walking around like he ordered them and was like doing a lot of bits about making fun of this guy.
that guy?
So
yeah.
what is his deal?
Yeah.
He just is trans, or is he?
No, I don't believe he is. I believe it's
Well, he's
fetish.
claiming that he's transgender, but he was like a high school teacher and he was teaching kids or whatever, and he had all these age-size boobs.
Just came in one day with tits.
Like worse than drag queen Bianca Del Rio. I mean, the tits were this big, and it's like, what the fuck are you doing?
And there would be
Yeah.
pictures of him walking around without them. Because you don't know it's a genetic thing, they're real. But then reporters would catch pictures of him without the breast, just living life in like a regular
As a
denim
transgender
jacket.
person, I'm
It's
proud
like
to say
fetish.
shame on you.
Yeah.
Right, 'cause it's like, yeah, it's not
weird.
I
You
didn't
got
believe
some
it.
issue going on.
Yeah.
It's not that.
It's fucking weird. And even if I saw them in the grocery store or in a strip club,
Yeah.
it's fucking weird.
It is.
Having
Yeah.
them this big with the giant nipples and
the
short
nipple.
skirts, stop. Like, that to me was fetish because you're not living your life like that.
Right.
You're wearing that around high school students. But then people are catching you going to the store in a denim jacket and a t-shirt.
Yeah.
Where's your breasts?
This is not something you actually need to make you feel like
This is not how
yourself.
you feel whole or
Yes.
like you. I just
Yes.
didn't, I personally, I didn't believe it.
Right.
And I think the fact that that gets lumped in and people can't just go, what are you, a fucking idiot? Like, people, everyone's so scared of getting in trouble that,
Right.
that it has to all be talked about with the same level of gravity.
Right.
It's silly.
Right. Yeah. No,
It's very
absolutely.
insulting. The
Yeah.
expectation of like respect my tits,
Yeah.
kids. Like,
Be
okay.
a CD, that's great. Dress all you want.
Yeah.
But then don't wonder why, like, in a school, it just feels fetishy.
Yeah.
Like, you can wear what you want, but I don't want to see a male teacher showing up with assless chaps.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, it'll be weird.
Yeah.
Well, I follow, so I do another like a news show, and I there's a trans influencer named Eden the Doll who I follow.
Oh, she's so pretty.
Did you see the video she posted like a day or two ago? It was very interesting, and she said that she personally feels that she wasn't born in the wrong body. She said, I don't think God makes mistakes. She's like, I think that I was put on this earth with the challenge that I would need to transition, and that is part of who I am because God knew I could handle that challenge. I thought that was a very interesting take that I had never heard before, and I just wanted to
Maybe that was
get
your
thoughts
higher
on it.
power in life.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
To challenge those around her with an idea that.
But that's not at all how you felt. You felt wrong body, or
I just know that when I felt my feelings, then I started feeling around 12, 13,
Right.
and the real, oh my God, the clock is ticking, I don't want to be a fucking man was real.
Yeah.
And I had to tell my mom.
Yeah.
I had to tell my family. And if I didn't, I don't know what would happen.
Right.
It's terrifying to me, really.
yeah. I like that you smiled after you said
But it is, yes.
And it seems like
But
when
I
it's
do like her view on it, though.
Yeah, it was kind of like the woo-woo person in me was like, oh, I've never heard this expressed in this way, and that's really interesting. But I just also like that it was a point of view about a trans person from a trans person when it got so much of the information that we get, and I think this is a huge problem, it's just about people. I'm like, do you even know a trans person?
Yeah.
Fox News every day on the main page, there's a story about trans people. Like, they're obsessed.
Yeah.
Obsessed.
it's the
But they
issue
call
of the
them
day.
she now. They didn't call them a she 10 years ago. They would say he on TV.
Right.
They don't do that anymore.
Right,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
less
yeah.
I'm not saying
dismissive.
they're not, oh my God, we love trans people.
Right, but baby
still.
steps.
Babies, they've gotten
Appropriately
better.
gendering is respect.
Right.
Levels
Yeah.
of respect.
I mean, I
also-
think the world is changing. I really
Yeah.
do. 10 years ago, I couldn't find any information. And I've said this on a lot of podcasts.
Yeah.
But when Caitlyn Jenner went on the magazine for Vanity Fair,
Yeah.
micro countries were talking about transgender.
Right.
It was out of the door and out of the closet. And
Yeah.
ever since then, for me as a foreigner too, being an internet person, it changed the world to me. I
Yeah.
really mean that.
Yeah.
I knew when that
Sincerely.
happened, I was like, that's amazing that such a famous family has a person who not only like lived most of their life as a very famous man.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow, now everybody's going to be talking about this in a totally different way the second she
But you know how
came
like
out.
they're fake when like you know show business they're allies they're frauds like
Yeah,
they-
sure.
it's-
TD Bank with the pride flags on pride.
it's
Like, you don't give
shut
a
the
fuck.
fuck up.
Yeah.
How many? When's the last time an actor brought somebody trans to an award show? Pablo Pascal, I think, brought his sister's transgender sister.
Yes, yes.
But that's different. That's different than a romantic relationship.
Yeah, that's true.
That's family.
Yeah,
Yeah.
family is different. And
Yeah.
it's nice that he brought it, but I mean, that's
Sure.
not the point of it's like
Try harder, Pedro.
Honestly, yeah.
We're not buying it.
a lot of you guys, and I know who you are,
Ooh,
because I would
yeah.
never say it, because if you want to know who sleeps with trans people, sleep with a trans person, they'll tell you. Like I
Yeah.
got,
Oh,
I
yeah,
got
yeah,
this
yeah.
skinny from a lot of girls over the years.
Nice.
But again, it's like, what are you guys doing? Just say it.
I know, it's like, be comfortable with who you are. What's the risk? Somebody's going to go, ew.
yeah,
okay.
fuck them. Fuck
go,
your
ew.
friends.
I don't give
Who
a
cares?
fuck. Yeah.
I
Was
don't care
it
what my
still
friends
like
think.
ingrained homophobia? Like what? Or
Maybe, yeah, sure. Or the fear of what does it make me? I think that's a lot of it too, because guys are more comfortable being gay
Or
than
maybe
they are
the
with
world
that.
around them.
Yeah, but if you come out like as a man, if I say I like somebody trans, what am I? Am I gay? Am I straight? That's the problem. It's the confusing.
Right.
And
The human
again,
brain has the desire to label
But
everything.
no
Yeah.
man who likes a dick is anything but straight.
no, you said that
be
wrong.
sh-
You can't be straight.
Can't be straight.
I was like, no, that's a hot
Hold on.
take, Nikki.
You're not straight if you don't like cock. Get it
I'm
right.
foreign. English is my second. If you like cock, then there's something else.
You're not
Right.
straight.
I always thought
Can't
it
be.
so funny, like when men get really insecure about like anybody thinking they could be a little gay, and I'm like, what is more manly than a guy with his dick out and another guy with his dick out going at it? To me, that is
I
so
love it.
manly.
Yes.
They, it's funny too, but a lot of the problem is like they'll say like, oh, you're totally straight if you're with somebody trans, and it's like, but that's to me is not progressive. That's the 1950s idea that being straight is the only good answer.
Right.
Like we have to somehow segue this back to you being hetero because that's the right answer.
But what if you're into trans girls and you hate penis and you don't want to touch your waist?
I mean,
Is that common?
I've
That's
heard
a
of like one guy that's.
yeah, that's a subset.
Maybe he was
story.
autistic.
He's still battling himself.
I don't know
It
who
sounds
that
like
guy
he's
is.
battling
Yeah.
himself. Yeah.
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 We'll have that guy on next week.
Or like asexual.
There's a difference though. Like if you meet somebody, you find out, oh, they're trans and then whatever, but I don't care about the gender. It's different if you fall in love with the person first and you don't even know about the, maybe there's different levels. I'm not an expert, like, and I can say it on stage, like,
I don't know either.
I'm not a fucking expert.
You're only an expert on your life and your experience.
That's it. Like, and I don't try to teach lessons on stage. I talk about it. I don't try to tell people how to feel. And
Sure.
I don't
You
give
don't
a shit
preach.
what they walk away with.
Yeah.
This is what my life is. And it is what it is.
But Jim is a very honest man, and I'm very lucky. And all the people, my friends, my trans friends, do tell me you're lucky. You're very lucky to have a man at all. I wish I had.
Yeah, it's guys are a little weird about it.
It's different to be married. I know there's some
Yeah.
trans girls who are.
Yeah.
I could never reach that.
Really? You just never thought this was an option for you? Wow.
So you guys are like living a little fairy tale, basically.
Oh, literally.
Yeah,
Fruits.
Yeah, I love it. And Nikki, what have you learned about yourself through marriage?
You never knew that before?
No.
Really?
Maybe no,
Aw.
I mean, come on.
Jim's like, yay.
Fucking, you're an old lady. She's an old lady. She is a very old soul. Like, it really is
That's
crazy.
Nikki
The Nikki Glaser
Glazer's
bit.
joke in living.
She's an
Jim.
old soul.
That's
No, no.
men's excuse for fucking the youngest chick they can get. It's so funny.
Oh,
You
that's
gotta watch
funny.
it.
Nikki Glaser has
so
the best
funny.
bit on it.
Oh, that's funny.
Women, what's it? She's like they don't like anything old on a woman except for a soul.
Soul, yeah,
It's
yeah,
so
yeah.
funny.
I will say this. I like Nikki Glaser. Good call, Nikki. Good call. But I mean, like she's like literally an old lady. Like the things that she likes, the reaction to things. It's fucking crazy. But I mean, yeah. But
Like
that
you like
makes it.
caramels? Or like,
Yeah, like
I love
the Werther's
caramels.
original.
Yeah, a little candy in the
But
purse.
old ladies, they're about to die. They always enjoy the best things in life.
Okay.
In their 80s, the little cookies,
Love
Norway, the toasts,
Yeah, yeah.
smørbrød's amazing.
Yeah.
I love old Norwegian women.
She really does. Like, it's not just the expression. Like, she literally loves old people.
Okay.
They're,
And,
they're pretty cool.
Instead of going to a hot spot restaurant, I would rather go to a
Yeah.
steakhouse.
Yeah, it's one of those things where that's why we get along. Like,
I hate clubs. Sex
Oh,
don't
that's
even.
perfect then.
yes, sex you can do with somebody like who's hot and young, but you can't live a life just based on someone being hot and young. You have to connect mentally on something, or you'll go
There's
crazy.
no substance.
Yeah, you can't.
Yeah.
And I was Miss Independent way before Richard.
Yeah,
So
you
I
made
was
your own
already a
money.
little.
What was your like? Yeah, what was your like life before Jim?
I did webcam.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So the Dare to
Mm-hmm.
I did that. And
How'd
I
it
moved
go?
out and I started my life.
Nice.
And yeah.
Nice.
Yes, it was nice.
What did
That
anything
was a bad
surprise you about
bitch.
camming? Like that you're like, oh, I like this more than I thought I would, or I don't like this,
Yeah.
and I thought I would.
was throning the ground.
Right. Nice.
Yeah, she beat my life. I would watch.
And
She
I-
told me immediately what she did. I didn't care.
And
Like,
as a Norwegian, I realized that I opened the international door by doing
Oh, right, exactly, because your audience is now the world.
that. The world.
Oh,
Who wants to
true.
see you.
yeah, but we would.
Person of the world.
Yeah.
I would enjoy watching. I was like, yeah, she's fucking. I liked just being this comfortable. Like the fact that you were that comfortable in front of people.
I'm more nervous now than I would be naked.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Being naked is so being sexual is just so vulnerable. And I'm like, man, if a strip club, I always said this, like, if a strip club had an amateur night where you could wear a mask, oh, I would do it in a second. But like the face, I'm like, don't look at me, look at my pussy, don't look at my eyes.
Do they have that? That's a great idea, by the way. Amateur strip club where you can wear a mask
Yeah.
and act it out without afraid of somebody grabbing a cell phone picture of you.
Right.
I feel like there'd be a lot of injuries at that club.
Those big eye holes.
Yeah,
Big eye holes.
a lot of
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
injuries.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's like when people think they can do stand up and then get on stage.
Yep.
You're like,
Oh,
okay, this is a little
hard.
harder than it looked initially.
But I'm smart enough to know I could never do what she used to do. Like
Cam?
my dick would be panicking. I would never be able to function
I
in front
wonder
of
if
people.
I was like 18 now, if I would be on OnlyFans then. That would probably be even more.
Yeah, you'd make a killing.
She would do well, yeah.
Because mine's was really old school. I think the
cam,
People don't
yeah.
really cam anymore. I guess they do.
They
but
do.
Now it's more OnlyFans.
Yeah, OnlyFans
That's the
women
young
make like
mindset.
6 figures
Yeah.
monthly
Crazy.
sometimes, and I'm like,
Yeah.
She
What were the
stopped
things
5
that-
years ago too. It's not like,
Oh,
some people
yeah.
think that because they see videos
Oh,
online.
no.
There's more videos of her online than me.
I've for a long time.
But she's been out of it for 5 years. So I think a lot of people see that and go, oh, he's married some girls doing webcam stuff.
No,
But it's
this is a long time.
Yeah.
Nice. Honestly, even if you're still doing it, I'm like, nice, you're probably rich as hell.
I wouldn't want that though. I wouldn't want to share that energy. That's why.
Oh, yeah.
I don't want
It's
to
a
share that,
gentle-
and I don't want to share her sexual energy with other people.
And I'm a married
when I'm with
wife
her.
now.
I would
and,
feel that way too about if my partner was sexual publicly. I'd be like,
Yes.
what the, that would
And
break
I
my heart.
need a man who feels that way towards me. I don't want a man who's just do whatever you want.
Yeah.
I can't have that in my life.
It's like when a guy's like not
He
even a
holds me
little bit
down.
jealous, and you're like,
Yeah.
Yes.
like
Yeah.
care a
He's
little
my
bit.
overprotector.
Yeah, but I'm not obsessive with it, but I wouldn't want her doing it. It's been years and I wouldn't want her doing it because it's like, nah, you're my fucking, my wife. Like, and even before she was my wife, she was my girlfriend. I'm like, no, I'm not driving 6 hours. Like, you know what I mean? Like, this is real.
Right, right,
Like,
And also, like as a public person, I think you, like we share so much with people already.
Yeah.
And I think
Share
it's
your
really
wife's
important to have
body.
some things that are just yours.
Yes.
I think because we have less things that are just ours. I think about that a lot. When you were camming, what was there like a common things that people would ask you for a lot as far as kink or?
I think most people just wanted to see my dick. Really?
You're like, all right, fine.
I don't know what to tell you. It felt like that's really.
I kind of have this theory that like, but I think everybody's a little bit bi, but like even like the straightest woman, and you show her a picture of like Sydney Sweeney's titties, and you're like,
Hell yeah.
the
Yeah.
best titties I've ever seen.
Yes.
Like her titties make my day better.
I love
They
it.
make my day better
My,
too.
yeah,
Yes.
just like, oh, just want to motorboat her so bad.
Yes.
But I also have this theory that like everybody, regardless of your gender, regardless of your sexual orientation, is always attracted to like a beautiful woman with a dick. Like I honestly think that you couldn't honestly poll people. Like if you said no, you'd be lying. I have that theory.
There are guys who are like comics I know who've talked about it, and they always will do it. Like I can see a trans girl with a girl with pussy. Like so they like the dick in play. And so the fact that they like it even a little in the thing means that they're open to it. Like
Yeah,
the fact that
sure.
it's in the somehow in the energy in the smoke for you means. I'm not saying you'd pop in your mouth, but you're
Japanese
okay
watch
with it.
octopus porn, so I'm sure
is
that
that?
it's like hentai and
Yes,
stuff like that.
Hentai's
And
cartoon.
inflatable furries. I've seen it all. It's
Whoa.
crazy.
What's the weirdest porn you've seen?
Inflatable furries.
And the guy's just fucking it, or they're fucking.
They're just being blown up and they're being naked furry. It's very weird.
It is very weird.
I'm interested in
sexuality.
furries a lot.
But the fact that people
Really?
get turned on by that.
I watched a whole like Vice documentary when I was like probably in high school about furries, and
Yes.
I've never stopped thinking about
It is
this.
sexual, right? Furries are always sexual.
Yeah, but I mean, it was like literally like, you know, just like kind of like, oh, these are the same people I've seen at Disney World. Is there a hole down there and they're fucking after hours? Like, fascinating. Also, I'm like, wouldn't it get so hot? I would get a
It would
migraine.
stink, and it would smell too.
Yeah.
Like I met the Philly fanatic years ago. And I interviewed him.
did?
Yeah, I interviewed him.
I'm
and
so
the,
jealous.
Oh, the fucking the costumes. No, it's a giant. It's a
Mascot, yeah, the Phillies baseball team.
Giant
Build-up
costume.
sports is so intense.
But he smelled terrible because those uniforms smell. So furries probably stink when they take their fucking
probably
clothes off.
stink.
Yeah.
I don't
They have a lot of
I don't like furries, you guys. Like, I think
I don't- yeah.
I think they're cute if they're like this,
But
but
sexual.
not go too crazy. It's
Yeah.
not-
Were you turned on by it? Oh, you just thought it was interesting.
But not like making fun of like truly genuinely fascinated
Yeah.
by it.
Yeah. What does it mean?
Yeah, I guess that was like the precursor to Guys We Fucked. I was just fascinated by it and like feederism, because Vice used to be, before they became like, you know, doing all the woke nonsensical taking comedians down shit, like they were really doing some very interesting work in the sex space. Yeah, of
Yeah, they were.
value.
Yeah, I did a show for them probably 2014. It only did 4 episodes, unfortunately. They were very difficult to deal with when you saw the way the top, everything had to go through a couple, everything got bottlenecked. So I'm not surprised that eventually things came apart.
Right.
It just seemed like there was only a few guys making decisions for a massive company.
Right.
But they did do some great, the thing about Joshua Bly, I think was a general butt naked. He's now a preacher. He's in one of those. One
Is
of
this
those
a famous story?
yeah, he's a guy who would like murder and fight naked. He's like a warlord. Very bad guy. No, Africa. Like, I don't remember where in Nigeria. I think he's in
That was
Chocolate
ridiculous.
City.
That's dangerous.
Yeah. Naked, crazy guy. General butt naked. would take them a lot of times, then not even get laid, like just have it taste like
you
a
just
fucking.
have a hard dick, and
it
you're
was
like,
Sex mania.
awful. Yeah.
Oh, I
Sex
know.
obsession.
But how has it changed?
Sit there with a hard dick and do nothing. Stupid
that
ass.
would irritate me.
Yeah, it did.
What am I gonna do with this hard cock?
But I've mellowed over the years, like, as far as thinking I needed the variety of people. Like a lot of it's just greed. It's compulsive overeating. It's donuts. It's cookies. It's cake. It's
It's
consumption.
selfishness too.
Well, a lot of prominent feedback that I've heard from men approaching their 50s or above 50s is that, like, oh my God, I could finally think about other things, and I'm not just chasing pussy all day.
Men
I'm
in the
thinking about chasing
50s are
pussy.
the
Yes.
best men because they're ready to do something else in life.
Right.
They're just trying to be this man of something.
Yeah,
It's
like,
annoying.
my boyfriend, he's 40, he's about to be 49, and I think he was like a man slut, which I love a man slut. But he's
Good
got,
looking singer. Yeah, of course.
yeah,
Well, he sings.
Yeah, he's great.
he's
I
amazing.
love
His voice
singers.
is
He's great.
Oh.
But he got out of his like sluttier phase when we started meeting, and when we started like dating, and I'm like, this is so thank
Yeah.
God. And but I'm like, wow, a lot of my close male friends of like approaching 50, I'm like, they seem to be very relieved that they're just not thinking about conquering a woman all the time.
Yeah, because you realize, like, especially, like, I didn't get laid in high school, so you get greedy when you get older, and then you realize it's addictive. It's not like, it's more about the idea of it, or the concept of it, or the dopamine. It wasn't
And
about
for
the
you, it
actual
was like
physical.
battle.
It was, of course, but I'm like, if I can't be turned on by Nikki, like, I'm so attracted to Nikki that I'm like, you have what you want here, so anything
Yeah.
else is irrational.
Yeah.
Like, it's a
And
lie.
just reminding yourself that.
Yeah, like
'Cause the
saying
urges
that.
are going to pop up all the time.
Of
You can't control
course.
that. But
Yeah.
like talking back to those kids.
It was
Yeah.
like
Just another chocolate.
white lint.
You want a Reese's Pieces?
A white mint. What is that?
A white lint.
Oh,
is that
lint.
lint?
Just chocolate and the white.
Lint
Yeah.
truffles, yeah.
I love this circle with the little soft stuff.
So
Yeah,
get
but
that afterwards.
if I'm out doing anything else, it's about something else. Like sex. I'm very attracted to her, so it's not like there's nothing else I'm looking for.
And how old are you, Nikki? 26. So also I imagine too, 55, 26, like that energy, the youthful. I've never thought of dating a younger guy, and then Corinne did it a while ago, and she was telling me about it. I'm like, there is this beautiful energy of people in their 20s that it's like, it's just nice to be around, to be honest. Like, it's just really nice. So that's another like fun perk.
They haven't been broken by the world yet.
Yeah.
Fun with me.
Yeah, like you
It's
have a
nice.
vibrance that is, I would say,
It's a
part of it.
20-year-old's vibrance.
Yeah, and it's
Hot
great.
bitch.
Yeah, yeah, and just like,
Because I'm feeling old now. I've been talking about
really?
getting Botox and Juvederm, and once I start, it's over.
yeah, fillers.
You can't
yeah.
be young after filler.
I have
so
some
maybe I should
Botox.
break my youth.
You're too.
I won't pay for it. I told her I'm not doing it.
I don't
Can't
think
use the credit card.
But I think you're, but also like don't start because then you're gonna end up looking like not you later.
I know,
you know?
but I just mean like a little preventive, like
No.
Queen
Well,
Elizabeth
Botox
had.
can be preventative. Like,
I don't really.
I started getting it before I got
But Queen
wrinkles.
Elizabeth did it before her some of her speeches. Did she look like a Botox face?
No, but we saw how it
can't
worked
do it.
out for her. She's fucking drop dead.
Preventive.
And it was because of the Botox.
Yeah,
they
the
said.
Botox
Yeah.
killed her. The Botox
So they
killed her,
sent the
not the
autopsy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not the 90
It's 100 years old.
I wish that's what Hermione would say.
The age difference is a weird one though. Like it's people. Some people are like, "Wow, you dated her when she was young." Yeah, I did. Fuck you.
Yeah, weird.
I'm so sick of people. Like, what do you think you're gonna shame me for that?
Do you think this man did
Shit.
decades of comedy for nothing to not fuck the youngest possible woman?
I
Have
like-
some respect.
Yeah, I fell in love with who I fell in love with. Like the last woman I dated who was quote unquote age appropriate. You know what I mean?
Was a
Like
real
that,
drag.
And let's not pretend that I was out of church neither. So
Yeah.
No,
it's not really.
helicoptering your dick. I mean, it was
After
great.
talking to men about this and talking to Corinne about it, I'm like, oh, I used to think that an older guy that went up, like, that was interested in a younger woman, like, there was a grossness to it. But now I'm like, no, I totally get it. It's not just the youth, but it's like there is this, like, beautiful, rejuvenating vibe emitting from all young people that's, like, just nice.
And they're more attractive. Let's stop pretending.
Oh,
like,
yeah,
you
yeah,
think I
for
look
sure.
like a 25-year-old guy? I'm not a
Yeah.
fucking idiot.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
they're
yeah.
creative and they have new inspirations.
You're not
Wow.
you're not jaded yet, and it's like it's a very valuable.
They haven't seen the
mindset.
realities yet, so they can still have.
But the last woman I dated who people would say is age appropriate was like in her, who's now in her, I'm 55, she's probably like 48 now. But literally a couple of months into the relationship, she's like, I want to get engaged
You're a
because she wanted to have a baby.
You have
Yeah.
And the
yeah.
bottom line is, I'm like, I'm wasting your time. I don't want children.
Right.
But any woman who was in my age group, quote unquote, like in their late 30s, early 40s back then, wanted kids. And I'm like, I don't
And that's-
want a
that's
family.
not- yeah.
You have
yeah.
a hot young wife, apartment, comedian.
Yeah, great
does
career.
tour, trans.
You're just
from
saying words.
Norway.
Yeah,
Physically
trans.
can't make a baby.
Yeah.
Blonde.
He's living his
Door.
dream.
Couldn't get
No
pregnant if she
baby.
tried.
Hair, dress.
Yeah, no, I love
Yes.
it. No
and
pregnancy.
Nikki, how is it for you dating an older man?
I love it.
Being married to an older man.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
When he
so
holds
much.
his phone far away from his face. So you can see you're
I
like, that's
love
my
it.
baby.
I do that. My
Yeah.
eyes are getting shitty. I got my glasses. But she functions well with an
so
older
in love
person.
With Jim.
Yeah, we do pretty well because she's not a club person. Like we like the same type of things. Like
That's
I really
great.
do like the old lady restaurants and the quiet. Like and she
Yeah.
loves that. Like I can't be with
Someone
someone who
love.
doesn't.
Yeah.
Did you have any, like, before you actually got married, did you have any questions about, or conversations about long term? Like, hey, I'm going to be really old. What do we do? You know?
Oh, who Olivia
my
Soprano?
God, I
She'll
do.
say to me, "You have no idea
literally,
how many
guys.
times she says to me,
I'm gonna live the last half of my life by myself.
you're gonna die before me." Like, all the time.
I have 0 family in America, and I'm like, who's gonna get my jewelry box?
Right. Well, that's how you got to make those friendships, girl. Solidify them. But no, there is something like I'm dating a guy who's older than me, and I'm like, probably statistically you're going to die before me, and
Yeah.
that's just
That's
I say that more out
exactly what I
loud.
say.
I just say that out loud so I can get comfortable with it. But then it's like, and then you live, the last couple decades. Maybe you date somebody, maybe you don't. But like, that's okay.
Yeah.
I
It's
totally
fine.
agree.
Yeah.
It's important for me to tell Jim because I have never had a job, so I don't really know how to work anything. I don't have really
Oh.
You do have a bank account.
You
well,
cams. You were making money. That was a job.
I was like, Cam is like very lucrative.
well, yeah, but I've never handled anything in my life.
Oh, okay. Okay. So
So-
are you handling things in your life now to kind of compare? Because Jim, I mean,
I try to
you're not
tell
going
her
to be
about
around for
stocks.
7 years.
I could.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, you got a long ways.
I
to
do
go.
laundry every day. I'll do anything he'll ask me.
But it's one of those things, right? We got her a bank account. I'm like, you have to learn how to handle finances.
Sure.
like, because I will be dead before you. So I want her to be at least set so
I
she
gotta
doesn't
give you a
get
good
ripped off.
couple Instagram. There's this one woman called Her First 100K who like gives financial advice to women, mainly women. But like the way she talks about it, it makes you get so excited to invest. And
Right.
she tells you all of the bullshit scams to not fall for. It's all
And
the
Mrs.
stuff.
Dow Jones, too. Those are two
Yes,
great accounts
she's
to follow.
amazing.
I think I'm like none of these things.
Well, I'm sure Jim has an accountant. That,
I do.
Yeah.
You're not
But he's also he's probably gonna die before him again. So.
Oh, the accountant's old. Well,
Barry's older, yeah.
well, there'll be someone else at the accounting firm.
I know you act like there's one person left in each field. One accountant, and I
But I'm
have them.
scared. What if I get a new accountant and they're rude and steal everything? And you're dead.
See, but
It has
that's,
to be someone who knows Barry.
but that's a real thought, though. Like, this is what I deal with. But what if they won't? I get on the side of a powder turn. Like, again, I try to help her with stuff so
Yeah.
she's ready.
I'll be like this.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to die for a while. 55.
Yeah,
I'm
you
pretty
got
healthy.
a long ways to go. You're a
Yeah.
happy person. But it also, too, like for you, Nikki, like just existing in a relationship, you want to feel like you have this independence, should just for you, right?
Security. I have
Yeah.
no family in America. I think that's a big part of it. I don't
Yeah.
know anyone
Yeah, that's
here.
scary.
I have
Yeah.
no one here but
Right.
Jim. Jim is my only person and guardian in my life.
Okay, so we gotta hang out more. We gotta get you a good friend
Yeah,
circle.
you need a friend circle.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Because
I'm,
like close friendships are like the zest of life.
And now I'm just doing so many things with him that I almost don't have time. Going to Austin.
When he goes to all those road gigs that you're not gonna be on,
Yeah, let's hang out.
Yeah. Oh my God, the first meeting was not so.
yeah,
Thank
I'm
God.
yeah, we want, but I want to get friends. And I'm like, I don't want you to just have me. Like, 'cause again, I have friends, so I want you to have people.
It will all
Right.
unfold.
Yeah, and I think one thing like societally that we've noticed, at least in America, is like, for the longest time, we thought it was okay to rely on your romantic partner for every need you have. And it's
Yeah.
like, when you think about it, that's too much pressure for both of you guys. And also, you don't want to put all your eggs in one basket.
You know, Europeans will probably hate me for saying this, but I feel like Americans are so nice. They make us feel good. They're just so nice to me. Everyone's been so nice.
We're transparent. I think that's what I
You're
don't
also
like
young
about
and
other
hot,
places.
so,
People are gonna be nicer.
I just
that is true.
well, I just
33, come back and tell me.
well, I just feel like it's been really, really nice, better than I thought.
Yeah, honestly, people have been better than I thought too. Like once you,
Just
I
I was gonna ask, like, did you have any friends say some dumb shit?
a couple here and
Yeah.
there, but nothing crazy. But I can sniff it out.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
there's
yeah.
certain people I look at, I'm like, what do you think? At my age, I don't know how you feel, dummy.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
of course
yeah.
I do. What do
Yeah.
you think? I've been a living doing this for 32 years. You think I don't sniff it out when you're a little shitty about it? Of
Yeah.
course I do.
But this is also like anyone who's known you for, I don't know, 5 minutes. This is not like no one's who could be shocked. Like,
The idea that I will occasionally get compliments, fans are like, I didn't know he was gay. It's like, first of all,
Oh, God.
where have you been since 2003? I've been talking about this publicly for over 20 years.
Right,
If you
yeah.
haven't heard it, then you haven't been listening.
Yeah, it's part of what your emotional intelligence is. How
and you've written pieces on it. Like, I mean, like, I would say you've been doing some groundbreaking work in this field.
That's how I
Actually.
found out who he was, because he talked about something.
On a Vice interview.
Oh,
years
and that's.
ago, yeah.
I was gonna say, did you know? Like,
I didn't know that he was a comedian. I just thought he was this
Guy.
person of something.
yeah, a guy who had some trans expertise.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
And maybe I'm so dumb I didn't even know what comedy was. I didn't understand that was like a thing like music.
Who's this little fat-headed blinking man who likes to take on her skirt?
Wait, do you not have stand-up comedy, like stand-up comedians in
I
Norway?
didn't even know what comedy was.
Well, I mean, you know what laughing was.
Such a blonde. No, they're very literal. The first time she came to one of my shows in Montreal, this was 2017.
Sure.
Understand this material.
This guy I was talking to, he was a comic, he goes, that blonde who was with you didn't laugh once. I'm like, yeah, she's from Norway. I got it.
that's really funny.
Yeah, but you're used to it. The stare, but she laughs at weird things. It's a different button.
If I know it's material, I feel like I'm watching something really funny. Like just knowing that it's material.
So
Yeah.
you like off the cuff.
Well, I get what you're saying, Jim,
Yeah.
about Russians have a very weird sense of humor.
Yes.
But I find Russian sense of humor so fucking funny. There's this Instagram account called, like, Look at That Russian, and it's just Russian people doing shit that you're like, what are you doing?
Yes, they have a very similar mentality, I think, to Norwegians in the way they approach being funny. Yeah, they're very extroverted. But that's the mentality. That's the
Yeah. That's great. So,
Shout out to Russian.
do you have any, like, I was going to say, like, do you have any future plans? But really, just live your life.
Oh, singular. Oh, you know what I was thinking? I was like, oh, do you have any pets?
Dogs.
Jim, what are your thoughts on the
big
friends?
on the dog? With the dog owners, like, it's a really social thing to have a dog.
I love the idea of a small dog. However, what I don't like is knowing what my wife, Elvira from Scarface, who would not be walking it, the fucking shades on, Jim, when they know
that is
that I'm gonna
not
get stuck
true.
walking this little shit machine. That's what I don't want. That's what I
I
don't
will walk
want.
the dog, and I'm ready for a dog. That's what I need in my life.
Okay, but wait, this is crazy, but I know for Instagram you have a balcony, right?
I do have a terrace,
Yes.
and we could get
I'll
a little
put little
weenie pad.
pads.
Exactly. So if you get a really small dog, you can
gotta
train
wrap
it to do the
Yes.
balcony peeing. And I also learned, like, walking is not so much about exercise for dogs, especially like the little dogs. It's more like the sense that is mentally stimulating them.
Yes.
So a really little dog you can kind of just treat as like a purse animal. So I think this is gonna work out. But please adopt it. From like
But
a
the thing
No
is,
puppy mill.
yeah,
no,
yeah.
there's
Most of
gonna
those are illegal anyway.
There's going to be no cruelty in the picture, but I've had so much baggage in my life that I don't think I can have any piece of baggage in my life. I'm sorry. I just
meaning
want
like a damaged dog, emotional
Get one
damaged
from-
dog.
Get one from a rescue.
Get a puppy. Get a puppy.
A puppy is fine.
It rescues a puppy from a rescue. Yeah, you can get a
A
puppy.
puppy is
I
fine.
won't be scared.
No, because they haven't get one. Like there's ones that
They're fresh out the
they will
womb.
literally have it. The mom dog will have the litter while she's already in the care of someone who's not abusive. They usually announce it. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's not like you're not getting a dog that has weird habits that you don't know, like the guard cracked
Yeah.
in. Like, you gotta watch
yeah,
stuff
yeah.
from certain
For sure.
The one I hypoallergenic. I like little cavapoos are very cute. Is that what it's called?
I don't know. There's so many combos.
Yeah, that's a king cavalier, and then yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, my dog. I have a miniature wiener dog.
Harrison Greenbelt adopted a
Oh, did he?
Rufus, very cute.
I need a little. I wouldn't mind it for that reason. I think it'd be kind of cute, but I know she'll let it on the bed, which I don't want. Fucking thing will be tinkling around with the bell. I know it'll drive me crazy. I
With
piss
the
on my
bell?
kiss posters.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Put your kiss posters on the wall.
I know, but I lay them out to flatten them when I get them all rolled. Sometimes we're in the living room.
How often do you do that?
Floor. I mean, there's
All the time.
Yeah, there's a few kiss posters, and but I know some dogs that walk over and pee. I'm just very panicky about the
Yeah,
dog.
yeah.
But I would get one for her.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, we'll do it. But I want to make sure you'll take care of it. What about Lily Fly?
Well, you get hot tip. It's easy to get a service license and you have a dog training for service.
Is it?
I mean, I don't know if either of you had any anxiety disorders or anything like that.
Oh,
but
sometimes.
yeah.
Aren't
actually, we got the wrap sign, so we're about to wrap up. But yeah, you can get a service license, to do the training.
Like a legit one. That would work.
Yeah. Because I have a service license for my dog.
So you can bring
He's
it up.
trained in touch point therapy. It's a great side. Yeah.
That's why with a small dog, anyway, you should never open the. No, you shouldn't. But my dog isn't so he just goes in a carrier under the front seat. Yeah, no. Putting it with the luggage is shouldn't even be legal. It should not be.
So crazy.
Also, if you actually look up the stats, so many dogs are dying, and they won't report them like very publicly, but it's completely inhumane.
Why are they dying? Is it the freezing
Because they're
cold?
underneath.
It's not meant for a living thing down there.
Yeah.
And I mean, but unfortunately for some dogs, it's the only way they can travel.
Because they're big dogs. Like
Yeah.
German
Like,
Shepherd.
they're not-
Justin
yeah.
Silver, who is a dog trainer, he has a giant pit bull named Brutus, who's just amazing. He'll buy a plane ticket for the dog, so the dog just sit in the seat. Yeah.
But can you do that with a pit bull? You can bring it on if you buy the seat.
But it still has to be okay to travel in.
Yeah, he has to have
seat.
But honestly, if you got her in the country after all that headache, this dog shit's gonna be
Probably a little bit
Yes.
easier.
I want a dog in 2 weeks. Seriously.
Oh, deadline. Love
Yes.
it. Love it.
I'm ready
This is
for a
wife
dog.
life, Jim. You gotta,
Yeah, I know it is.
Dog.
And I'm going to show her off on Instagram every day.
What are your thoughts on the phrase, Jim? Happy wife, happy life.
It's true. It really is true.
But at the behest of your own happiness, or like, because I always heard that phrase and I'm like, yeah, but then the husband is the husband.
I
happy?
tell him that I've left my family and my country. I want to have fun every day.
Yeah, I've
Every
heard that.
day.
And your version of fun happens to be like old lady stuff, so it's just
Yeah,
sweet.
but I've heard that. I left.
Every day is a blessing, and I'm going to live life as such. I don't want to have a blessing.
Happy wife, happy life is true because it usually is like there's nothing that's going to sacrifice my happiness for her. Like occasionally there's things that cross over that I don't want that she
And
does.
when we argue, we always be sorry, even if it's after.
Yeah, a lot of times she'll just go, just apologize, and I'm like, I don't feel sorry at all. But she'll go, just say you're sorry. I'm like, all right, I'm sorry, and I do
You're
feel
like,
better. Like it does.
Yeah.
It does take some of the steam out of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I want her to be happy. I don't like when she's sad. I feel terrible. So yeah, I do love her. I'm very happy when she's happy. We're doing our YouTube channel, and it's fun. Like it's legit fun.
Yeah.
So much.
It's fun to watch.
Thank
I love
you.
it. I love it.
I think she's really funny, and like by the way,
She is.
anyone who
so
thinks she
much.
stepped in to do this, it was my fucking idea. Like,
I didn't even want the YouTube show. I told Jim, oh my God,
Yeah.
can we not?
Well,
This
no,
is
I know, knowing
really-
you, I'm like, yeah, no, it all happened because you were like excited about it, and I kind of assumed exactly what it was. Like you were like,
and it's
So
funny.
fun.
Yeah,
The
like I
more
think
that
it's
I've
funny.
been public now, the more comfortable I've gotten
Yeah.
to. This is so much more different than what I did before. So
Right.
It's
Well,
very
we're happy you're
personal.
here.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Thank
oh
you.
my God,
what
I
would you
love
guys like to
guys.
promote and plug? Where
Just
can we find
Nikki
more?
and Jim.
Nikki and Jim NYC on YouTube, and the podcast is called Sword Fight.
You're going on.
That's so funny.
Sword fight. That's fucking perfect.
Yeah, and episode 4 actually with Chloe is up now.
She's so funny.
She's hilarious.
Jesus Christ, that woman's
I
funny.
love Chloe.
Yeah, she was great. She's very
It's her
honest.
birthday tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
Eric's like, yes, it is. Thank you for saying that. I already knew. No.
We're
So
going
that's
to
all.
Austin.
And my gigs, if you want to come see me, but
You're
the
going
YouTube.
to Austin.
By the time this airs, I'll have been. When's this come out?
Couple weeks.
Yeah. So I'll be back from Texas, but just for myself.
Yeah, we'll put your social media handles in the description.
Yeah, but the YouTube channel. Hope people like it. What's
Yeah, that's what
Wait, you bought the film and stuff?
Oh, no. We didn't decide.
You found it.
We did put the pieces together. Yeah, and it came in a box. Yeah, it wasn't just screwing the legs. Well, we did it. We didn't send anyone for help. We didn't hire a task rabbit. We were the task rabbit.
I'm sure one of the episodes, visibly.
Yeah, it was fun.
I loved it.
How dumb am I? I saw you buy the buttons individually.
It was like, no, we're not furniture makers.
But I love that you believe that we could be.
I did,
Thank
yeah.
you. That was very complimentary. See, good husband.
Yeah.
Yes, very. Thank you so much for joining us. This has been Guys We Fucked, the anti-slut shaming podcast. We'll talk to you next Friday.
Guys We Fucked is presented by Luminary. Created and hosted by Corinne Fisher and Krystyna Hutchinson.
Editing and music coordination by Mike Coscarelli. Theme song by Rob Patterson and Jake Cozen.
Suck my wet ass pussy.
Krystyna said to cut that before, but now it's in there.
Yeah, let's keep it. Who cares?
From your wrist